Throughout a season and throughout a career in baseball, your present and future as a pitcher can change with a single game or even a single pitch. From one start to the next, you can go from defeated after struggling on the mound to the star dominating the opposing lineup. The life of a closer follows the same rigid path day after day. One appearance before, Brad Lidge walked that line and was left on the outside looking in. Last night, he reappeared with his team on the ropes, and instead of lightning striking twice, it was the Phillies closer turning out the lights on the Indians. And for this night, it was a pitcher's success. One night after the Phillies rode the control of Jamie Moyer and the slider of Brad Lidge to victory, they're looking to do the same again tonight with Kyle Kendrick on the mound at Game 2 of a 3-game series. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Gary Matthews. Chris Wheeler will be here in just a little bit. Well, last night the Phillies got a tremendous pitching performance from Jamie Moyer, but they also got a tremendous performance from their closer, Brad Lidge, Sarge, who came on and closed things out with a nasty slider against these Indians.
Yeah, he had it going on last night and also throwing that fastball. He talked about when you don't have a good night, you got to be able to come back. Sort of like getting back on the horse again as he comes walking in. There's that slider that he's throwing, and did have some good fastballs to actually complement that slider. That's what it's all about as he gets his 200th save. Brad is on his way, and as long as he's healthy, you can look forward for more of these. You take a look here at the line there, 13 games there, the record. When that closer doesn't have a record there, he knows he's doing pretty good. Saves 5 out of 6. He will be getting stronger there, Tom.
He'll be getting stronger, and his location with that fastball should be getting better. Now, speaking of location, last week when the Phillies took 2 of 3 from the Yankees, it was first Jamie Moyer that won a game. Then it was Kyle Kendrick, and the Phillies are looking for the same combination here against the Indians.
Yeah, that weekend was almost a must-win there against the Yankees, the way things were going. Kyle up to the task there. Take a look at his highlights as he had that sinker going down in the zone, getting ground balls. That's what it's all about there. He only walked a couple of batters there his last outing, and if he can do that, he should be able to get ground balls and be able to have an easier game. Right there in the 6th inning, this was big. Had a couple of men on, and Polanco coming up with a great catch there. You can see Kendrick as he's all fired up there. Now take a look at what Kyle has done in 07 there in those starts early on, 7-1. 08 there. Look at that ERA. That just tells the story right there. And again, this kid right here now coming up with a changeup, he should be much, much better there, Tom.
And Kyle will talk about those numbers that you just saw, and he says he needs to be better here at Citizens Bank Park, as good as he was back in 2007. We'll see if that begins tonight against the Cleveland Indians. He'll be opposed by veteran right-hander Jake Westbrook, who's making his first ever start against the Phillies. So it is Game 2 of this 3-game series. The fans are filing in. We'll get to the starting lineups of the first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota's national sales event is going on now. Hurry into your Toyota dealer today. By Southwest Airlines. Want to see what a real airline is like? Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. By Xfinity, it's TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. By Citizens Bank, with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. And by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. of this 3-game series. The Phillies trying to get things on track after winning last night by a final of 2-1. Let's take a look at the Indians starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Trevor Crowe leads it off in center field. Shin-Soo Choo, the right fielder, bats second. Carlos Santana hits third, followed by Austin Kearns, the left fielder. Russell Bryan's over at first base once again, and Johnny Peralta bats sixth at third. Luis Valbuena, the second baseman, will hit seventh. Batting eighth and playing shortstop tonight is Jason Donald. And on the mound is veteran right-hander Jake Westbrook, the 32-year-old. And they will face right-hander Kyle Kendrick, who Wheels is coming off a good start. And in that game, he was coming off a bad start and coming off a good start. So he's hoping to get himself a little consistency.
Yeah, good point, Tom, and that's what it's going to take from Kyle Kendrick. He wants to stay in the rotation. You know, Jay Happ is out there trying to get ready and come back, and who knows what would happen if Happ's ready to pitch again. So Kyle's trying to make a decision, really tough for him. I think one of the biggest things we put in the scouting report tonight from Southwest Airlines is left-handed hitters still high. That's still high, 293, but that's almost 100 points lower than it was about 5-6 starts ago. So that is a big improvement right there, and he has become much more consistent with his other pitches. His biggest thing he has to do is keep his fastball down and be consistent with it.
Well, the first batter that he'll face is Trevor Crowe. Crowe leading off for the Indians for a second straight night. Overall hitting .243 with a home run and 17 RBIs. He was 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. And he is one of 2 switch hitters that the Indians have in the top 3 in their lineup. Off the outside corner, 2 balls and no strikes. Kyle Kendrick, like a lot of pitchers, has interesting splits to look at. And some of Kendrick's interesting splits are his home and road splits. We talked about it during the outset of the telecast. Well, his numbers have not been great here at Citizens Bank Park, but boy, have they been good on the road. An earned run average of just over 3 away from the ballpark.
And this park can be a little bit tough sometimes on fly ball pitchers. But, you know, with the stuff that he features as his best stuff, which is down, you know, he should be okay here if he's throwing the ball well.
See what he's done in night games compared to day games. And that one is lined down the right field line. Jason Werth is over. He's not going to get there. It's off the wall, and Crowe's heading to second, and he'll get there sliding. Jason Werth got to that ball quickly. Crowe runs well. And even though Jason bobbled it, I'm not sure if he fielded it cleanly if he had a chance to get him at second.
Yeah, I think Steve Smith might have taken a shot at it and sent him to third on that if they'd have seen what it had. You know, if Crowe hadn't gone into a slide. But once he went into that slide, that was the end of it. Because it looked like Jason Werth went to throw and it slipped out of his hand, or else he didn't have a grip. I don't know what he did.
Oh, leadoff double for the Indians. Let's watch it.
Watch, as you said, he gets to it quickly. Now watch what happens here. Whoop. No, he just, he did a Lonnie Smith there. Lonnie used to do that a few times. Lonnie did that one time, ball went in the seats behind.
Well, the Indians have a little threat going here at the top of the first. Here is Shin-Soo Choo. And he takes a pitch for a strike. Choo was 1 for 3 in last night's ball game. Riding a 5-game hitting streak. Tied for 7th in the American League in walks. And he has a pretty high on base percentage as well. Of .388. But Kyle is quickly ahead. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and you figure they're going to try and manufacture a run here. These left-handed hitters at the top of the order try and pull the ball. And then you got another left-handed hitter coming up, Santana. They'll play the infield back.
And he pulls that one foul past Sandy Alomar Jr. in the first base coach's box. There is Sandy, who was spending a lot of time before the ball game talking to Charlie Manuel. These guys go back a long ways to when Sandy was the Rookie of the Year for the Indians as a player.
Charlie's really fond of Sandy Alomar Jr. He can't say enough good things about him.
In the air down the right field line. That one is way back, and that one is way gone. Into the second deck. And just like that, the Indians lead it 2-0.
Well, that was a changeup that didn't go down, that's for sure. That thing just stayed up, and you could see he got fooled a little bit on it. Was out front. Man, that's a long way to hit a changeup that you look like you're fooled slightly on. Boy, he must be strong. Watch him. See him start to commit a little bit, and then almost Well, it's amazing to see a ball go in the upper deck on that swing. But I guess it goes back to what we talk about all the time about low pitches. The left-handed hitters, they love them down there.
Well, that's the 9th home run of the year for Chu. And the Indians jump out on top 2-0 here in the first. And here's Carlos Santana. Indians players are rubbing Chu's hair for some good luck.
Well, right out of the chute, trouble with left-handed hitters. And that was one of the things we put in the scouting report, that he's been getting a little bit better, because that's a real problem. There's Chu. There's a real problem for Kendrick, is retiring left-handed hitters in the opposition lineup tonight. First two guys left. And there's another one, Branyan. First two hitters left-handed, double homer.
Oh, now he's fallen behind 2-0 to Santana. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. See, he's reached base safely in 9 of his last 13 plate appearances, and in every game he's played in the big leagues so far. He's only been up for a short period of time. That one misses low, 3-0. Santana was 0 for 3 in last night's game. And he takes a strike at the knees. It's 3-1.
Yeah, he was one of the switch hitters they wanted to turn around in the 9th inning. Made a lot of sense. They didn't quite get through it with J.C. Romero, but both Crow and Santana, they wanted them batting right-handed. Of course, Chu is a left-handed hitter.
And that's inside for a ball. So first 3 batters reach for the Indians. So Kendrick is allowed a double, a home run, and now a walk. And here comes Rich Doobie out to the mound.
It's a quick trip for Rich Doobie. You know, he just wants to get out there and try and get him straightened out now. Now you get some right-handed hitters coming along, or at least one right-handed, then left and right.
Rich has been known to be very firm with Kyle Kendrick when he's had his conversations with him. And this is probably one of those firm conversations, because we're only here in the top of the first, and he's got to sort of limit the damage. Already 2 runs have scored. And he's taken every bit of time that he can to get his point across. 12 first inning runs in 14 starts for Kyle, including the 2 tonight on the home run by Chu. Home run by Chu, by the way, was his first since the 1st of June. And here's Austin Kearns, overall hitting .283 with 7 homers and 32 RBIs. That misses a little low.
Yeah, he needs an out desperately right now. Just get straightened out a little bit, get an out, take a deep breath, and as you say, try to limit the damage here.
2-0. Phillies begin play tonight 36-32. 4.5 games behind the Atlanta Braves in the National League East. The Indians, meanwhile, are 26-43. They are in last place in the Central. On the outside corner, it's 2-1. Line drive bullet down the left field line, foul. And it's 2-2. And right now Kyle's really not fooling anybody.
Not missing many barrels. This is sinker, I think. Yeah, and here it comes running in, but it didn't run in. It ran right over the middle of the plate, and thankfully for Kyle, Kearns got out front a little bit and hooked it.
Austin Kearns 0 for 4 in yesterday's game against the Phillies. That just missed. 3-2.
As a cutter.
There's Russell Branyan waiting on deck. He provided the only spark offensively for the Indians yesterday. Already the third 3-ball count for Kyle in this first inning. He's only faced 4 batters. Runner goes. Pitch is hit in the air to right field. It'll stay in the yard. And it's slicing over toward the line. Jason makes the catch. 1 away.
Love to watch those middle infielders on plays like that when the guy's running. He tried to deke him out there at second, tried to deke the base runner. Santana, but he didn't go for it.
Some infielders are better at it than others.
Yeah, well, he may have picked that one up pretty quick. Or if you're in trouble, look over at your third base coach, and Steve Smith might have pointed up in the air right away for him. But yeah, you're right. Some guys are really good at that.
Sean Dunston used to be really good at that with the Cubs.
Yeah, he was very animated. He comes flashing across the bag like he's going to make a double play.
And now Russell Brandon is the batter with one away here in the top of the first. Russell takes a fastball a little high. It's 1-0.
Russell Brandon's really scary off a guy like Kendrick because he wants the ball low. You can't throw it low enough for Brandon.
Brandon, as you saw, 10 home runs, and he pops it up toward left field. Over toward the line, Ibanez is there. 2 away. During the 2010 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. And so far, with the Phillies' 36 wins, pretty good amount has been donated just from victories alone. Here's Johnny Peralta. Peralta's playing third base for the Indians. And he takes a strike, and Kyle works ahead of a batter with 2 outs here in the top of the first. Kyle Kendrick was so good in his last start against the Yankees. Rich Doobie was unbelievably pleased with what Kyle was doing, keeping the Yankees off balance. And it began right out of the chute when he struck out the first 2 hitters, Derek Jeter and Curtis Granderson.
Want to change up to Jeter and a sinker to Granderson. And you know what he's trying to do right now is get out of this inning with the first 2 guys producing the 2 runs and just be down 2-0.
It's even 1 ball and 1 strike to Peralta. And another fly ball towards shallow right. Jason Werth is over toward the line, and the sunshine makes the catch. So the last 3 batters, Kyle Kendrick gets on fly ball outs. This was after Shin-Soo Choo connects on a 2-run home run that gives the Indians a 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the first. Schneider, the number 8 hitter and catcher. At batting ninth and pitching, of course, is Kyle. They will face 32-year-old right-hander Jake Westbrook, the former first-round pick of the Colorado Rockies, making his 15th start of the year.
This guy really had some start of a career, and then he's been plagued by a lot of injuries the last few years. Can be a very, very good pitcher on a given night. There are the overall numbers. More hits than innings pitched. Walk-strikeout ratio not good.
And Jimmy Rollins takes a fastball for a strike to start this at-bat off. Jimmy was 0 for 4 in last night's ball game, but As he told us during the postgame, it's just nice to get back out there and stretch his legs a little bit. Felt pretty good today when he was taking batting practice, which was a good sign.
Here's our Southwest Airlines scouting report. Throws a lot of sinkers, likes to use his changeup. Will also throw a cutter, the one he just threw right there. And this guy likes to pitch down, and you have to make him bring the ball up. It looked like he threw him another cutter there.
Yeah, so back-to-back cutters, and Jimmy is the first strikeout victim for Jake Westbrook. So one away.
These are good pitches to left-handed hitters. You can get them off the plate like that because the odds are they'll either swing and miss at them or hit them foul. And our colleague Larry Anderson made a heck of a living for a lot of years doing just that, throwing those things in like that and watching guys hit wicked fouls down the right field line.
Well, here's Polanco. Has faced Jake Westbrook a number of times in his career. 7 for 24 against him. Westbrook is working quickly. 2 strikes to Polanco.
Yeah, he's throwing strike after strike.
Opposite way. Fair ball over the first base bag. Polanco's around first. He'll hold up there. As Chu got over to it quick enough. And it's a 1-out single. That ball just went over the bag.
And first base umpire Sam Holbrook took a long look at this. He see it right there. He's looking at it. He said, yeah, that thing's over the bag. That's a fair ball.
It's a good call.
Very good call. And you can see it go right over the bag.
So a 1-out base runner for the Phillies. And here's Chase Utley. There's Sam Holbrook, who made the interference call last night, which led to Charlie Manuel being ejected from the game.
Gave Charlie a night in the clubhouse, critiquing us, among other things. He was all right.
Here's Chase, and Chase hits the first pitch foul. It's 0-1. Looked at the rule book after the ball game last night. Charlie was ejected from the game after Raul Ibanez was called out for interfering at second. And you see the umpires for tonight. The crew chief is Jerry Davis. Greg Gibson's at second. Brian Knight's at third. And Rule 7.09 E and F, if in the judgment of the umpire, so it was a judgment call, is the way the rule begins. You know, the base runner interfered with the fielder's opportunity to make a play, then the base runner and the batter will be ruled out, and that was the case. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
See what Westbrook's trying to do now. He threw Jimmy those cutters, but now with the runner at first base, he's trying to sink the ball down and away from Chase Utley and get a double play ball. And Chase done a good job just staying off. That's the reports on this guy. If you're going to beat him, you better run a little deeper counts and make him get the ball up, because he's hittable up, but down he can be a problem.
Line drive, base hit it to right field. Polanco had to hesitate a little bit, but he's still going to try for third. The throw by Chu, cut off by Donald, and the Phillies have runners on first and third with 1 out here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, 2 really good things on that play. The base runner by Polanco is outstanding to make it to third, but Chase Utley did a very good job of doing what you're supposed to do with Westbrook. Try to get ahead and then have him elevate that sinker a little bit where you can hit it and hit it hard. And he did. He hit it hard and found a hole, and they get a first and third out of it. Nice job by Polanco, base running, and by, watch, see, that one's up. Very different than the other sinkers he had thrown, and Chase had a real good hack at that. Polanco took a look, decided he could go, and gets there easily as Tom Center's cut off by Jason Donald, the shortstop.
So runners on first and third with 1 man down, and here's Ryan Howard, who's riding a 6-game hitting streak. Ryan has 3 home runs on this homestand, and they play the infield back with 3 infielders on the right side.
That's how he picked up that RBI last night, because there's nobody to the left of second base. The third baseman had to stay over there with runners at first and second. Now, in this case, Peralta can move over a little bit further because there's not a runner at second. See the difference. Yesterday he was more over here. He's going to move over a little bit more now, but this is where Ryan hit the ball last night, and got an RBI in the first inning. Phillies scored 2, and that's all they got.
And he got a hanger there, and he missed it, so it's 0-2. The luck of McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Meg Toner from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, and Meg will win $200. Little field eye view of Ryan Howard settling in the box. Down to the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And he chops it foul. Ryan, with his 52 runs batted in, is 4th in the National League. He is tied for 6th in hits overall, which is an impressive number for a guy that hits so many home runs, but he's 8th in homers with 14. And he lays off the changeup, and it's 1-2. David Wright leads the National League in RBIs in June. How about what Josh Hamilton's doing in Texas in the month of June? I mean, he is just on fire.
Got a 16, 17 game hitting streak.
Oh. And he decided he's not going to be in the home run derby out in Anaheim, although he is one of the leading vote getters in the outfield right now in the American League.
Remember what he
just stays alive.
Remember what he did in the home run hitting contest a few years ago. And last year, I think he struggled. Or was he in it last year?
I don't remember if he was in it last year, but it was when the All-Star game was at Old Yankee Stadium that he put on a display.
Unbelievable.
Tired him out.
Tired him out.
With this hitting streak that Hamilton's on, 17 games, it's a career high, but he's also hitting homers too. That one's hit hard. Granion makes a nice play. Gets one at first, and they're going to get Utley at second. The double play will go 3-6. The run counts as Polanco crossed the plate before Chase was tagged at second. So the Phillies do get a run here in the bottom of the first. So they cut this deficit to 2-1. Visit the official online shop of the Phillies at Phillies.com. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, the Phillies.com shop. Accept no substitutes. Top of the second inning. Phillies trail it 2-1 as Luis Valbuena leads it off for the Indians. Now, here at the ballpark, they have the line scores all around the park, and they did not put the run up until the first pitch was thrown to Valbuena. The run the Phillies scored in the bottom of the first as Kendrick gets a chopper back to the hill. One away. And there was a little murmur from the crowd because I think everybody was looking and wondering, well, did the run count? The home plate umpire, Jerry Davis, pointed to the plate as the out was recorded. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, and the second base umpire takes a look in. That's why Polanco got a hustle. Watch the second base umpire after the tag. He takes a look in to see where the runner is at that point. As you said, the home plate umpire, Jerry Davis, had already pointed, yes, he scored before. So Utley's trying not to get to second base real quickly there. And what they need to do is come tag him a little bit quicker. Polanco, all he has to do, all his job there to do is hustle and score. So he ran the bases really well in that inning.
Absolutely. Jason Donald is the batter, and he's down to the count 0-2. Now, if Branyan would have fielded that ball, thrown to second, and come to first for the double play, the run would not have counted.
Right, exactly.
Opposite way, Jason Werth. He was shallow, going back toward the track, reaches up and makes the catch. 2 outs.
Jason Donald, the ex-Philly, really got robbed there, showing his versatility, being able to play second and shortstop in the major leagues. Second last night, shortstop tonight. And Jason Donald, his former spring training teammate, robs him there. That's a really good play by Jason. Got a great jump on that, as you see right there, and he had it all the way.
That'll bring Jake Westbrook to the plate. His first at bat of the season. He's 2 for 12 in his career with an RBI. And he stands really far away from the plate.
Well, he don't want to be up there.
Look where that back foot is. Oh, look where the front foot is, too. He lays off. Now, normally, if you're not used to playing in an outfield position, you look to see where the grass is all worn out. If you're not used to hitting, you probably put your feet where everybody else puts their feet. Not in this case. And he chops it towards short. Jimmy over to his right. Long throw just in time to get Westbrook. And the inning is over. 1, 2, 3 go the Indians here at the top of the second. Nice bounce back for Kyle Kendrick. We go to the bottom of the second with the Phillies trailing at 2-1. The game on Comcast Sportsnet. That's right, they will continue that match for a third day tomorrow. It was suspended again at Wimbledon.
Little rain over there?
No, it just is still going on.
Oh, you mean they're playing that many sets?
Last I looked, it was 52-51 or something like that. Now, Isner, I think I'm pronouncing it right. Isner is like 6'7", and it's 10 hours previous record was 6 hours and 33 minutes, but 10 hours, and it was suspended because of darkness today. It was suspended because of darkness yesterday. It's like that Pawtucket-Rochester baseball game that featured Cal Ripken Jr. and Wade Boggs back some time ago up at McCoy Stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
Good at athletes are those two guys to be able to keep doing that.
How about that?
Man.
Well, Jason Werth will lead things off here in the bottom of the second. Jason overall hitting .276 with 12 homers and 44 runs batted in.
I asked Milt Thompson today about that stance because you noticed it last night for the first time that he's open like that. Evidently, that's just something he wants to experiment with, and hit the ball really hard his first time up last night. That sac fly that came down in a hurry.
It was ahead 2-0. As Sarge was mentioning last night that sometimes you open it up just to see the ball a little bit better.
Yeah, and see a ball, or sometimes guys do it because they're pulling off so much or trying to go into it. But a lot of times they'll still pull off. It just depends. It's one way to get your front shoulder back too when you open up and then close. Hey, whatever it takes. Guys will experiment.
One thing Jason is doing, he's still seeing a lot of pitches, which is a good thing.
Yeah, because you love to get this guy on base because he's such a good base runner, as he showed last night.
As Milt has been working with a lot of different guys on different things, and Jason hits it in the air to right center field. That's deep, and that's not coming back. Gone! A home run for Jason Werth the opposite way, and the Phillies have tied this ball game up at 2 apiece.
He really closed nicely on that one. Had a good balanced swing. Got ahead in the count.
Well, that's got to feel good for everybody working around the clubhouse, including Milt Thompson and Jason Werth, because they have been working feverishly to try to get Jason on track.
Look at that swing. And he's so strong. And watching batting practice tonight, you talk about a shooting gallery. Here it is. Look at that good balance right there. Head down, right on the ball. Closed quickly on it and smoked it the other way. But it was flying here tonight, Tom, because of how hot it is.
It was going into the second deck, going into the second deck in left field, and even off the facing of the third deck in right field. Ibanez slowly hit right side. He's retired for the first out. By the way, that home run by Jason made a winner out of Meg Toner of Bethlehem. She won $200 courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Royals handed Steven Strasburg his first loss, 1-0 over the Nationals. Ryan Bannister pitched well for the Royals. Strasburg, 9 strikeouts today. It's a Major League record, 41 strikeouts in his first 4 starts. That's a pretty good line. Nationals just didn't score for him.
They had a second and third, 1 out, too, and couldn't get the run in.
That ball was smoked off the glove of Branyan. And Valbuena has no chance to throw out Victorino. And he's got a 1-out single.
Yeah, Branyan's a guy that's never really had a position. You know, he's in the game for his offense. Now Shane hits this, and as Tom said, just smoked it. A 1-hopper. Obviously should have been handled, but was not. Hit hard off the heel of the glove and scored a base hit.
That'll bring Brian Schneider to the plate. Schneider hitting .234 overall, no homers and 2 RBIs. 1 for 11 in his last 3 games, but 9 for 30 over his last dozen games. Good toss over, and Shane is back.
And Westbrook has a quick move to first. Good feet, they say. There's Jason Werth with just a great swing he put on that. Looked like a high sinker. Hit it out of the ballpark to right center.
Victorino goes. The pitch is taken high. The throw to second is in time. Oof. That was a bullet by Santana. And Shane is caught stealing for just the second time this year.
He spun his wheels a little bit. leaving first base, but that guy came firing out of it. See him spin just a little bit, and that was almost like a pitch out. It was away. He caught it standing up. Good footwork and a tracer.
That ends a string of 13 consecutive steals for Victorino.
Yeah, and you don't want to see him stop running either, because it's important for Shane to run. And down the bottom of the order gives you good speed down there and be able to do some things. And just because the guy throws you out, you got to stay after it, and Shane will.
In the air to center field. And Crow goes back a few steps, and he makes the catch. So the inning is over, but the Phils tie it up on a solo home run by Jason Werth. It was his 13th of the year, went into the bullpen, the Phillies bullpen. It's a 2-2 game. And please submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, on December 9th, 1982, the Phillies traded 5 players to the Indians for Von Hayes in the infamous 5-for-1 trade. Name the 5 players. Wheels is biting his upper lip. He got until the 7th inning to get the 5 players, though, Wheels.
Yeah.
Von Hayes, who was managing the Camden River Sharks in independent baseball just across the river. Top of the 3rd, it's a 2-2 game. Indians scored 2 in the first on a 2-run home run by Shin-Soo Choo. And then in the bottom of the 1st, the Phillies scored a single run. In the bottom of the 2nd, the Phillies added another one. That gentleman's got some pretty good handwriting. A lot of scorecards you can't make out.
Well, I thought you meant me.
You do have good handwriting.
Well, the nuns, we learned that Palmer method when we were kids at St. Anastasia's. Palmer method, those circles like O's. And use fountain pens too.
Is that like wax on, wax off?
I don't know. I just know it was called the Palmer method, like Scott. Catholic school kids from the 50s will know what I mean.
Well, I think that gentleman is scoring in pen that we saw a few moments ago. I think that gentleman might be scoring in pencil. 3-0 the count to Trevor Crow to start the top of the 3rd. Kyle Kendrick has settled in since the home run by that guy right there, but he's fallen behind 3-0 to Trevor Crow. And there's a strike on the inside corner.
Yeah, that's what happened to him in the first inning. Fell behind, got hurt.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Johnny Cueto picked up his 7th win as the Reds shut out the A's 3-0. Francisco Cordero, his 19th save. A line drive to right field. That'll be over Jason Werth's head and off the top of the wall. Jason plays it well. Crow trying for 2. The throw offline. And he slides it safely with his 2nd double of the night. So just like the first, the Indians get the leadoff batter to 2nd.
This guy's peppering that right field wall. This Trevor Crow with the 2 doubles. Jason does a nice job on this. It looked like it hit right on the padding up there. It does. It's right at the base of the fence on the padding and deadens it, drops right down to him, and he has a shot at him. The guy runs pretty well, though. We saw that last night and beats the play.
Matty Acta, the Indians manager, came out to ask Jerry Davis if that was a home run. I don't know if he thought it went over or a fan interfered or if it is indeed a home run right over the scoreboard. Matty managed with the Washington Nationals against the Phillies here at Citizens Bank Park. He should know the ground rules.
Yeah, exactly. He knows that you have to hit it over that low fence out there on top of the wall. That padding sometimes will deaden the ball like it did on that one, and that's why it kind of just dropped down.
Shin-Soo Choo has the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Choo tried to do his job last time, and that was pull the ball, and he got a lot more out of it when he hit a changeup out.
Choo's home run went an estimated 426 feet into the second deck.
That's the second they've hit in the second deck in this series. They hit one up there last night from batter Russell Brandon.
Off the outside corner, 2-1. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Choo, who the Indians acquired from the Seattle Mariners. Mariners just didn't have any room for him because Ichiro was playing right field. Indians sent Ben Broussard to Seattle. He only played 45 games for the Mariners, so it turned out to be a good deal for the Indians.
It's like the guy on deck, Santana. He came over from the Dodgers. You know, they figure, well, they got Russell Martin and they got Casey Blake out of it. So a pretty good prospect coming over here to Cleveland.
Off the glove of Schneider, and Crow didn't realize it, so he holds up at second. 3-2 the count to Choo.
Yeah, Crow didn't see how far that got away from Schneider. With nobody out, he's not going to run. See right here, goes off the webbing of Brian's glove, and he takes a look back. Now, a lot of times a guy can advance on that, but if you aren't sure, don't see it right away, and you're at second base with nobody out, you better just stay there.
Brian Schneider goes out to talk to Kendrick. And they've been crossed up on that pitch. Opposite way, that'll slice foul. Choo is an interesting story because he hails from South Korea. He does make his home in Arizona, but there is a rule in South Korea that if you are a South Korean resident, you have to serve 2 years of military service before the age of 30. Well, he's getting close. At the end of this year, unless he gets an exemption from the South Korean government, he may have to go back over and serve 2 years of military service. Now, South Korea did not fare well in the World Baseball Classic to the point where they didn't win it. And if they had won it, then he and everybody else on his team would have gotten an exemption. So they're hoping that the World Games this fall will result in a victory for South Korea, and then he could get that exemption. But it's kind of interesting to think about the issues that players who are not from the United States have with their allegiance to their countries.
And it used to be that way in the United States when there was a draft. Players would have to do active duty, do reserve duty during the summer, and miss a couple weeks. Famous loss for the Phillies, of course, is Curt Simmons in 1950 when Curt was in the National Guard. His unit was called up, and he didn't pitch in the World Series. Didn't pitch a lot, and I think in the month of September either, when they were really struggling.
3-2 the count to Choo. And he stays alive, fouls it off his foot. Yeah, the United States had the draft from 1948 until 1973.
I remember it. I remember going for that physical at 401 North Broad. That's where he used to have to go.
Well, for Chu, I mean, he could try to become a U.S. citizen, but he's got a lot of pride and doesn't want to lose his citizenship to South Korea. Waiting for the 10th pitch of this at bat. And a liner slicing away from Victorino on the run. He gets there and makes the catch. Crow's going to try for third. Victorino throws on the run, and Crow gets in there sliding.
That's great base running by Crow. You know, he's an outfielder. In fact, he is a center fielder, and he knows how hard that play is when you're going hard to your right like that. You're a right-handed thrower, to be able to get yourself under control and get anything on the throw. So you see Shane's playing a little bit to pull. Now he's trying to get behind it, but he really can't. See how many steps it took for him to stop before he could throw that? And he couldn't stop in time. Here's another look. Now he does the right thing. You go back, you tag up, and then he reads that Shane's going to have a hard time slowing down and throwing that thing and throwing it accurately. He's good base running.
So one away. The Indians have a runner at third. Here's Carlos Santana, who walked his last time up. Santana, a switch hitter, but his natural side is the left side. The infield is back, and he smokes one toward the camera well on the first base side.
Yeah, it looks like runs are going to be scored here tonight. Charlie doesn't play the infield in the third inning anyway. Unless in dire circumstances. 51 pitches already for Kendrick. So, they'll give up a run here right now in the third inning to stay out of a bigger inning.
One ball, one strike to count. Kyle is trying to get the inside part of that plate, and he's just missing.
Trying to throw that comeback or running fastball, whatever you want to call it, where you started at the left-handed hitter, freeze him, get it over the plate, and he's not getting it over.
There's Austin Kearns waiting on deck. Line drive right at Shane Victorino. He makes the catch. Crow tags from third. Here's the throw by Victorino, and it hits the mound, and the Indians take a 3-2 lead. So two away as Crow scores his second run of the game. Santana smoked that one right at Shane for his 9th RBI.
Yeah, they'll take that. Take the out for the run there, as hard as that ball was. So if he gets some more air under that, it could have been 2 runs.
And that'll bring Austin Kearns to the plate. He fly to right his first time up. Got it in on the hands, and he popped it foul. 0-1. Kyle, in his last start against the Yankees, had that pivotal 6th inning, which he had 2 runners on. The Phillies were leading it. Nick Swisher was at the plate. He got a heck of a play from Placido Polanco down the left field line. And he gets Kearns to line one the second. Kyle does not have the same kind of stuff tonight. The Phillies trail it by 1 as the Indians score another one with a leadoff double by Trevor Crow. He comes around to score. Phillies trail it 3-2. pitch to the third. Phillies trail at 3-2. And Kyle Kendrick leaves it off. Kendrick this year 1 for 20. And Jake Westbrook starts it with a pitch down and away. Jake Westbrook is facing the Phillies for the first time in his career. There are only 3 teams now that he has not faced in his big league career. It's a guy who was an all-star at one point back in 2004.
And then he got hurt. He had an oblique problem, then he had an elbow problem. They signed him to an extension through this year, and he's been hurt a lot of that extension.
Suffered through Tommy John surgery. He only pitched at Double-A last year for a couple games. They feel like he's fully healed, and he is working quickly tonight. And he gets Kendrick to chop one easily to Valbuena, and there's one away. Well, one more interleague series left here at Citizens Bank Park. It's the Phillies and the Toronto Blue Jays. The Phillies will be the visitors for this 3-game set. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday night's game is a 7:05 start. Great opportunity to take in some weekend baseball here at Citizens Bank Park with some good seats still available. Log on to Phillies.com and get your information today.
It's going to feel strange over the weekend.
Well, they bring in the American League leader in home runs in Jose Bautista, the first major leaguer to reach 20 home runs, as he hit 2 yesterday for Toronto. As Jimmy Rollins, who struck out his first time up, is down in the count 0-1. And he hits one in the air to center field. And there are 2 outs. Now the Phillies are on the verge of their 76th consecutive sellout here at Citizens Bank Park. It's game 2 of 3. Final game will be tomorrow afternoon at 1:05. And it's another sold-out crowd on a very warm night. The Phillies are trying to keep pace with the Braves and maybe pick up another game on the Braves and the Mets, who are ahead of them in the division right now. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Polanco.
I think it's raining in Chicago. A late start out there.
Braves will take on the White Sox out in Chicago. There's a pop-up down the right field line. Chu over toward foul territory. Has room and has the ball. He makes the catch. The inning is over. So the Phillies go down in order here at the bottom of the 3rd. We've completed 3 here at Citizens Bank Park. It's the Indians 3 and the Phillies 2. Good fastball at the knees there. See, Redding's leading at 5-0 at that point. And Jay looking the runner back to second, throws over to first. This is the Bowie Bay Sox, the Baltimore Orioles AA affiliate. So Happ is not allowed a run for his first few innings. He's also picked up 4 strikeouts along the way. So that's good news. We'll see what his velocity is. And one thing that Rich Doobie has talked about is you see the line for Jay Happ is just Jay trying to let things go a little bit and stretch out that arm and get himself back into pitching shape where he can come out and help the Phils once again. Gary Matthews joins us as we go to the top of the 4th. Russell Branyan leads it off. Branyan flied to left his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. Sarge, we talked about how effective Kyle was his last time out against the Yankees. What are you seeing that's different tonight?
Well, 0-2 pitch, not a very good pitch there. Went out of the ballpark. I thought that was no balls and 2 strikes.
There's a swing and bunt. Polanco's going to have a tough time getting Branyan, and he won't get him. And it's a base hit for Branyan, and he's aboard to start the 4th.
Yeah, that was a pretty good pitch, and getting bad results with that swinging bunt by Branyan. But that's what you want him to do, though. Make quality pitches. See where this ball is there. See the movement on it? He hits it off the end of the bat. But nobody there. It becomes a swinging bunt. Got to play Howard the same way. Everybody shift over toward the right.
Well, here's Johnny Peralta with nobody out. Peralta flied to right his first time up, and it takes a strike.
One of the things, though, with Kyle, you want more ground balls than you do fly balls. He's getting ground balls. You know that he's on his game. Those fly balls can turn into line drives.
I guess if you're a sinker baller like Kyle is, and this is the case for sinker balls across baseball, some days your ball moves better than others.
And a lot might have to do with the way that the weather is. You know, in Denver, that ball doesn't sink as much. Breaking ball doesn't break as much. All I know is when it gets warm like this, the ball has a tendency to travel a little further.
Well, we have certainly seen that. Two balls and 2 strikes the count to Peralta. Kyle was mentioning after his last start a couple days afterward that he just feels like he's getting there. He's getting better. His command is getting there. And well, that is true a lot of the time. But there still are, those instances like the first inning tonight where he misses against the lefties and they make him pay.
Yeah, a lot has to do with confidence making those pitches. If he can pitch on the stage there at Yankee Stadium and do the things that he did that game, going 7 innings, then you know that he can do it with other teams.
Well, tonight his pitch count is up. He's got 7 3-ball counts, including this one. Branyan goes, pitches hit in the air to right, not deep. Jason Werth will settle under it, and Branyan retreats back to first. Well, the Atlanta Braves, as we mentioned, are in a rain delay out in Chicago. They're going to be here Monday, July 5th to start a 3-game series, and it's a big one for the Phillies. Get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. There's the great giveaway on Tuesday, the $1 Dog Night on Monday. But the fact that it's the Phillies and the Braves, that should drive you enough to get to the ballpark. Again, log on to Phillies.com, and this is what the Braves have done since the 29th of April. Their first 22 games, they were 8-14. They are 34-15. As Valbuena grounds one to Chase at second. Branyan was going on the pitch, so only one play, and that's to first. 2 outs here in the 4th.
Yeah, little hit and run there. You notice how Chase Utley stayed at home, usually on a left-handed hitter. That second baseman is not going to move because you're hoping that he pulls the ball. The shortstop will be the player that will cover on that play.
Why do you think it was Chase that stayed at that point?
Well, left-handed hitter is going to pull the ball.
Yep.
And he stays home there. You can see right in the hold. You can see right there where the shortstop is.
And he makes the play, and now they're going to walk Jason Donald intentionally. You have a little trouble erasing that, your finger marks on that?
It must have to do with some of the electricity or whatever in your hands. I mean, let me tell you, I pushed on it like it was a piano.
We watched it. There's ball 4. The Indians have runners on first and second. Jake Westbrook, who grounded to short. His first time up will be the hitter. Now, Sarge, getting back to that, there are times, though, when even if it is a left-handed hitter, that the second baseman will cover, because sometimes the left-handed hitter has a tendency to go the other way.
Will go the other way, and that would be a guy that would not pull the ball, more of a slap type of a hitter.
Westbrook takes a breaking ball on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Three-2 Indians here in the top of the 4th. Kerry Wood.
That's a good pitch on the outside part of the plate. Another reason why the games are a little bit longer. Ball's a strike. Sorry.
I think Brian Schneider and Kyle Kendrick agreed with you on that one. .75 pitches now for Kyle.
I don't know where he wants him to throw the ball to get a call. Strike 3.
Right there, Sarge. There's a called strike 3. Westbrook goes down looking. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left for the Indians. We've played 3.5. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Chase Utley will lead things off for the Phillies as Kyle Kendrick picks up his first strikeout of the night to finish off the 4th. Last of the 4th here at Citizens Bank Park. The vendors are very busy. The fans settling in along Ashburn Alley. Phillies trail at 3-2. Chase Utley will lead things off. Chase singled back in the 1st. And he was on base when Placido Polanco crossed the plate on a 3-6 double play.
Yeah, see how important it is for runners to try and go from first to third just for those kind of situations where you're able to get a run.
Which is what Polanco did on Chase's base hit to right back in the first. Chase now 7 for 17 on the homestand. And he takes a pitch at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. It's a foul ball toward the second deck, and it's 0-2. Sarge, it's been less than a week since all the talk came out about Chase, whether he's healthy or not. He certainly has swung the bat better. What do you see differently from him over the last 6 or 7 days?
Well, I mean, first of all, to answer whether or not he's healthy, as you take a look at Davey Lopes there, I mean, I got to go on what he's saying. If he's saying that he's healthy, he is. But I notice at times up at the plate that his loading is a little bit off, meaning not loading soon enough, and they're catching him maybe going back. But he seems to starting to come because you can tell he's hitting the ball hard. That's a pitch he normally would not swing at when he's right. You know, and a lot, not facing some of these pitchers have a lot to do with the player swings too. If you look all over the league, you know, the production is down and not as many home runs.
He stays alive and fouls another one off. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That 20th home run Batista hit for the Toronto Blue Jays yesterday came on a 3-0 count. Cito Gasly letting him hit 3-0. 2 outs. Overbay coming up next. He said that's the reason he let him swing 3-0, and that was his second home run that he had hit in the ballgame for number 20. Should be on the All-Star team with those type of numbers.
The chopper foul, and it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. So I guess what you're saying is that sometimes you get better counts to hitting, and that's what Bautista did for his 20th home run. And there are times when you're facing guys for the first time that you're unfamiliar with the style of pitcher, and you may not get yourself in those good counts.
Yeah, that's a real good point. The better you're hitting the ball, the more the pitcher's going to make mistakes. You know, you're not hitting the ball very well, he's not going to make many mistakes. Doesn't have to. You're hitting that ball well, they're trying to hit different spots, and that's when they end up making their mistakes out over the plate. When you're not hitting, pitchers seem to get a little bit more aggressive with their pitches and have a tendency to get ahead of you. Before you know it, it's no balls, 2 strikes, and then you're swinging at a bad pitch in the dirt or up over your eyes at times.
Another foul ball, and again it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Chase.
Just protecting that plate, trying to get a good pitch to square up.
The 9th pitch is down, and it's 2-2. The 9th pitch of this at bat. So this is a 10-pitch at bat in a beautiful setting. The moon so clear on a night like this, kind of like it was yesterday after that storm went through. Again, a little day baseball here tomorrow at Citizens Bank Park. In the air, down the right field line. If it's fair, it's gone. It's hooking, and it is foul.
Now, all you have to do is look at Chase on that ball. He told you right away. He started off. He got out in front of that just a little bit. Solid contact, however. Had the distance, just a little bit off. Now watch this. He has his head down. What a classic swing. He's trying to twist it in again, and he sees he getting that tail right at the end. Clearly foul ball.
So 2-2 the count to Chase. Phillies trail at 3-2. 7 foul balls already in this at bat. 11th pitch of the at bat. And he rolls over on it to second base. Bill Blaine has got it, and Chase is retired. 1 away.
Kind of looked like on that particular swing that he wasn't quite ready. Ended up rushing out on a changeup and just pulling it.
Well, earlier today, before the ball game, Peter Nowak, who is the manager of the Philadelphia Union Soccer Club, threw out the first pitch on a day in which the United States advanced to the final 16 of the World Cup with a 1-0 victory over Algeria. They will now play Ghana on Saturday in the next round. The United States won their group as Ryan Howard breaks his bat and picks up his second hit of this series. And he's bored with 1 away.
Yeah, that's another indication right there. You see Ryan Howard as he gets jammed. Good hitters will get jammed, but you're strong enough to hit that ball over the infielders' heads. And when he starts that, it's, again, just a matter of time. He's been swinging the bat fairly well even the whole month, just not able to elevate the ball the way that he will before it's all said and done.
Well, here's Jason Werth, who homered his last time up. Phillies trail at 3-2. Ryan, of course, with that hit, has extended his hitting streak now to 7 games. Breaking ball drops in for strike 1. Opposite way, that'll slice foul. 0-2 the count to Jason.
That's power there. All you got to do is listen to the sound. Good area, too, that he's hitting that ball. Right there, center field. Squaring that ball up.
Well, we talked earlier about him opening up his stance a little bit. How that has enabled him maybe to see a little bit more, but also cut down on him stepping out when the pitch comes in.
It's a good point. When he's opened up, he should stride toward the ball and keep his hands up.
He lines it toward right center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Howard's on the run. Round second, heads to third. Jason's heading towards second. The throw is high, and he is safe.
Wow.
Well, between Polanco going first to third, which is what you're supposed to do, back in the first, and Jason stretching that single into a double. The Phillies have had a couple of instances tonight where they've run the bases well.
Well, that was varying base running as he good hitting right there. That's what you call good hitting. Going down, hitting a good pitch. Little hesitation right there. Cost him. Ball up high, and he's going all the way as he slides head first.
Jason Werth with that double, his 25th of the year. Safe and secure at second base. Safe and secure with New York life.
Notice how when he gets hot, where he's starting to hit the ball, shows that he's staying right on it. With the bat right now for Ibanez.
2 at scoring position. The infield is back. The Phillies trail it by 1, and Raul swings and misses that breaking ball. But it's 0-1, or that changeup, I should say.
Got to remember, pressure's on the pitcher here to throw you a strike. Ibanez would like to get that ball up in the zone if he could.
Good numbers with runners at third and less than 2 outs. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Sarge not sure what Ibanez is going to do in this spot, but that 11 pitch at bat by Chase Utley resulted in a ground out to second, but it could prove costly for Westbrook in this inning because he threw a lot of pitches, and he may not have the same kind of stuff as this inning moves on.
Yeah, it all depends too on that hitter, on what he's swinging at.
That one is hit inside the first base bag. That's going to get 2 home. Ibanez around first, heading to second. Howard has already scored. Here comes Jason Werth, and the Phillies take the lead. Well, you said it was a big spot, and he came up big.
Yeah, rifling this ball right down the right field line there. So it ricochets there off of the ledge. See Howard coming in there, and your pitcher. Automatic double. There goes Werth as he's digging there. Well, that's you getting a workout in right field and showing off that arm, and he has a good one.
Tim Belcher, the pitching coach for the Indians, out to the mound. A few words with Jerry Davis before he goes back to the dugout. Matty Acta.
Yeah, well, he's seen this act before. Talked with him.
He's watched this before.
Talked with him before the game, and he said that he thought he was through seeing the Philadelphia Phillies. Giving him a nightmare over in the American League, and lo and behold, they're on the schedule. Says, I wonder when these guys are going to start hitting again.
Alcemid hits tonight, and Victorino takes a pitch on the inside corner. Matty Acta was also talking yesterday about his team's interleague schedule. 9 straight road games in which he can't use his DH, Travis Hafner.
Wow.
Oh, 2 the count.
Well, he almost seems to think that this club here can turn it on and turn it off. See what the guys are doing. Runners in scoring position. Victorino right there at 382. Santana, this kid's going to be around a long time. Catcher has a real good arm. Throws the ball on the line, and looks like he's going to be a pretty good hitter, too.
A lot of news today in Major League Baseball. Freddie Gonzalez, who was 3 games under 500 as the manager of the Marlins, the all-time winningest manager in Marlins history, fired today, along with his bench coach Carlos Tosca and Jim Presley, his hitting coach. Edwin Rodriguez played parts of 4 seasons in the big leagues with the Yankees and the Padres, took over. And I thought that was kind of an odd move as Ibanez capitalizes on that ball getting away from Santana. And he's at third now with less than 2 outs. And that'll be a wild pitch charge to Jake Westbrook. Anyway, Freddie Gonzalez has handled some tough situations down in Florida, and he's out as their manager.
Well, heads up play there by Ibanez. Being able to get in there under the tag, always better when you got that runner at third with less than 2 outs, and infield will be played in by the Cleveland Indians.
Outside, 3-2. One of the big reasons why Charlie wanted Shane in this spot in the order. Little pop, little speed, little extra production from the 7-hole. Off the end of the bat, caught by Donald. A spinner, and that holds Ibanez at third. They're going to walk Brian Schneider intentionally, so Kyle Kendrick will bat with runners on first and third. Matty Acta not messing around. He doesn't want another run to score here.
Yeah, pretty big at bat there, too, for Victorino. And just hitting that ball off the end of the bat. Pretty good pitch, though, by Westbrook. I'm not going to even mess around with Snyder. try and go after Kyle Kendrick.
No one covers the Sixers on draft night better than Comcast Sportsnet. Preview all the possible picks and recap the entire night with Neil Hartman at Sixers headquarters and D. Lineup live at the draft in New York City. Sixers Draft Day 2010 presented by your local GMC dealers. Thursday night at 6:30 and 10:30 only on Comcast Sportsnet. So 2 on, 2 outs. Kyle Kendrick is the hitter. And he pulls it toward third. Staying down on it is Peralta, and the inning comes to a close. Phillies do get 2 on a 2-run double. Clutch hit by Raul Ibanez. And it gives the Phillies a 4-3 lead as we go to the top of the 5th. Innings, and every time the Phillies retire the opposing team in order, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, high-speed internet, and home phone. Jamie picked up his 8th victory of the year, and he dazzled these Indians hitters, and all they could say afterward is it was his night. Russell Branyan said, let's face it, he had everything going for him. It was his night, and it seemed like everything he was throwing to the plate was moving, had that little extra movement on it, and was in the strike zone.
Yeah, Russell was talking about he didn't know that he threw inside that much, and usually that's all shown on the video, but he was just tremendous. It's unbelievable that he's able to compete and win the way that he is.
Trevor Crowe leads it off here in the top of the 5th, and he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Well, Manny Acta was also saying, hey, listen, we had a game plan against Jamie Moyer. It was to try to get him to get the changeups up in the strike zone. Well, he just didn't get the changeups up in the strike zone.
No, and he was getting early strikes. Boom.
Towards second base, and the Phillies might, Utley boots it, and that's going to be an error to chase, his 8th of the year. I was going to say they might get Crowe out for the first time tonight, but he is aboard once again.
Well, nothing hard about that play. Just one of those things. Top spin on it. Takes a nice little hop, has it in his glove. He just didn't go in the middle of his glove. See right there, almost hits right on the heel, never gets in his glove.
Well, here's Chu, who's 1 for 2. Homered his first time up. Crowe has stolen 9 bases this year, so Kyle's going to try to keep him close.
missed getting it. Crow was leaning a little bit. Kyle had some quick feet.
Well, with quick feet, that's what usually will get a runner. Let's see now. He gets his hand back. Yeah,
that was close.
That was close.
In the air to left center field. Victorino on the run into the alleyway. He's not going to get there. That one is gone. Second home run of the night for Chu. Into the second deck his first time up. Now to left center field his second time up. And the Indians have retaken the lead.
Wow, he hit that ball as if he was a right-handed hitter to center field. And not only that, the ball kept carrying. That ball looked to be down a little bit as Chu actually golfed that ball. Well, you hate to see that, especially after an air.
Well, here's Santana. RBI his last time up on a sacrifice fly. And he takes a pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Top two guys in the order for the Indians have scored all 5 runs. And he's driven in 4 of them.
Well, it's a long way to hit a ball for a left-handed hitter.
On the hands down the left field line, and it slices out of play.
Well, usually throw it a lot deeper than. There you go. Watch this home run here. One, he keeps the hand on, and one, he takes that ball out. The one that went on went to straightaway center field.
We were saying the one to the right, which was the first one, he may have been fooled on it, but still kept his hands back enough to.
That was an inside pitch there. It was 0-2, I thought the pitch was, and you're right. He was back on it and exploded on the ball, putting that ball toward that Budweiser sign, or on it or off it. Now take a look at this first home run on the light as he golfs that ball out of there, and he was out in front. Now the second one, he just goes off 2 hands he uses on it. Good extension, however.
David Herndon is up and loosening in the pen for the Phillies. Kendrick has thrown 85 pitches tonight. Two and 2 the count to Santana. And that's going to be another base hit. Toward left center field, it's going to skip right out by Victorino. And Santana will get to second with his 6th double of the year.
Wow.
I think Charlie is pretty close to have seen enough. I mean, he's wandering around the dugout heading toward the stairs, and I think he's going to go get Kyle.
It all goes on sound, and they've been really driving the ball and hitting the ball here as of late. You know, this will be one of those games that Kyle will look at and say, man, I don't know exactly what went on, but what went on, not getting enough ground balls.
So Charlie's out to the mound. He hasn't signaled yet. And now he takes the ball from Kyle. There's the signal to the pen. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen. We've got a pitching change here at the top of the 5th. is available at the Majestic Clubhouse store at Citizens Bank Park and at newsstands around the ballpark, or by logging on to Phillies.com. And while you're getting the Parade of Champions book, you can also get the Fanatics Galapagos Islands Adventure book. That's the 8th children's book, so you can get 7 and 8. Number 8 is illustrated by Len Epstein, just as number 7 is. Again, you can stop by the Majestic Clubhouse store or the Citizens Bank Park newsstands, or log on to Phillies.com. Well, not a full moon, but a pretty good setting here at Citizens Bank Park. And back and forth we go. The Indians have the lead. With nobody out, runner at second, we've got a pitching change. David Herndon takes over for Kyle Kendrick, who went 4+, allowed 6 hits, and so far 5 runs. We know that 1 is unearned. Austin Kearns is the hitter, with Carlos Santana at second. See David's numbers, 21st ball game. And the first sinker misses inside. It's 1-0. Austin Kearns flat out to right, lined out to chase. And he gets this one toward third. Polanco's got it, 1 away. Nice play by Placido Polanco.
Well, it's cat-like reactions down there at third base. Polanco end up picking this ball. That ball smoked as he goes down there on one knee. Sets himself. It's a good play.
And with 1 away, Russell Branyan is the hitter. He's 0 for 2. That's flat out to Jason Werth both times tonight. Slider from Herndon for a strike. It's 0-1. David Herndon has not worked in a little more than a week. His last appearance was on the 15th of June against the Yankees.
Oh boy, that's a pretty good pitch. We got a floating zone going on here tonight. That fastball.
There's that book we were just talking about, Sarge, the Galapagos Island book. It's sold here at the ballpark. Get that one, the Parade of Champions, and all the other books in the Fanatic Adventures. Check swing, did he go? No, says the third base umpire, Brian Knight. And that evens things up to 2-2.
Just don't want to leave a ball middle in. You know, he can hit him a long way when he hits him. There's a tendency to strike out quite a bit.
Russell Branyan, who has played for the Phillies. He's played for the Indians 3 different times. One of those times he never made it to the big leagues. He was originally drafted by the Indians. Swing and a miss, and there is that strikeout swing you were talking about.
Yeah, that's that pitch there in. It's almost like he can't see that pitch. Charlie Manuel spent hours in the cage with this hitter. Thought he should have been a better hitter than that, but he turns his head. You can see him turning his head on that. Hard to hit the ball when you're not looking at it.
Well, Johnny Peralta's now the hitter. He's 0 for 2. He takes a pitch down. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
A lot of times when you haven't pitched in a while, it's difficult to find your control. Usually you come in, you're throwing a lot harder or overthrowing, not making your pitches. Herndon doing a good job here so far.
Yeah, David Herndon was probably working almost every day last year when he was in the minor leagues with the Angels, and It hasn't been the case here in Philadelphia. The Rule 5 draft has to stay with the club the entire year. If not, he could be offered back to the Angels at any time. He's trying to work through this 5th inning. Almost left his sunglasses on the tarp.
Wow, and flipped over a little.
Line drive, base hit it to left field. Ibanez gets to it quickly. Santana's heading home. The throw's heading home on one hop. He is out at home plate. Good job by Brian Schneider to force Santana to the backside of home. And Raul Ibanez with the outfield assist to finish up this 5th inning.
That ball hit like a bullet. Steve Smith, third base coach, sends him in right on the money there for the ball hit.
We've had a couple of them from the outfielders. Jason Werth, Sarge, he took a pretty good route after this one.
Boy, I tell you, that's what makes him such a good player and a fielder here. Check this out in the 5th. This is a classic play as he comes up one hop and gets him there at home plate there. That's our Home Depot doing more on defense there.
And a good block by Brian Schneider on that play at the plate. Jimmy Rollins leads things off here in the home 5th. The Phillies trail it by 1. They trailed it by 2 at the end of the top of the 1st, then 1 as the 1st came to a close. They trailed it by 1 in the 3rd, and then took the lead in the home 4th, and now the Indians have retaken the lead.
Yeah, Steve Smith, third base coach, gambling that throw wasn't going to be on the line. Normally, you're not going to send a runner because outfielders are playing so shallow, especially the fighting fields.
I was kind of surprised that Steve sent him just because he has coached here at this ballpark, and I know it took a good throw, but that ball was hit. That ball was a rocket.
Oh, it was blistered. Good throw, good pickup. Ibanez coming in. That was textbook, being able to catch that ball in one motion and throw it.
A meeting between Santana and Westbrook. There's Steve, who was a guest on the TV show The Amazing Race this past year. He did that while he was out of baseball after being let go by the Phillies following the 2008 season. He and his daughter were part of that.
I thought they won that, didn't they?
I think they finished top 5.
Oh, did they? Well, he really got a little nice bonus check for doing that. And he said they kind of compared that as if your son was able to play in the major leagues and you were doing that and be able to do it with his daughter. He said she was quite the athlete.
There he is chatting with Manny Acta.
Oh, he's explaining that play.
Probably running it through his head over and over again.
Well, he's been here before. He knows that at any time that ball's hit hard to an outfielder, you just can't take a chance if he picks it clean.
Swing and a miss on that changeup. And Jimmy's down on strikes for the second time tonight.
Yeah, that's what that timing's going to have to come in with J-Ro. You won't come back and usually get hot right away. It's going to take him some time, but being on the team will just give this team energy. Wants it up in the zone, and look where it is, and he's off. Again, that's a pitch there. You're not going to do much with it. You're just hoping to foul that off if you can.
So Jimmy's retired. Here's Placido Polanco's 1 for 2. Pulls that one softly to third. Johnny Peralta with the easy throw, 2 away. Chase is a base hit and 2 at-bats tonight. A single back in the first. And he grounded out his last time up. That was an 11-pitch at-bat his last time to the plate.
In the air to right center field. On the run is Crow, the center fielder. Does he have room? He does. He makes a running grab. That is a fine play to retire the side. So the Phillies go down in order. A little defense from the Cleveland Indians. And their center fielder, Trevor Crow, to finish up Chase Utley's at-bat. The season. With plenty of hot summer days ahead, you can surely expect to see big blasts and big offensive totals from the big piece. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Oh, there is the big piece, Ryan Howard. He and the Phillies offense trying to get going tonight. They have 7 hits, but they trail at 5-4. Jake Westbrook just retired the Phillies in order in the 5th inning. Ryan's taking a glance at the Fanatic as the Fanatic exits the playing field. We go to the top of the 6th. The bottom third is due up against David Herndon. It'll be Luis Valbuena, Jason Donald, and in the pitcher's spot. And the first pitch is over for a strike. Valbuena's 0 for 2. He's bounced back to the mound, grounded out to second. And quickly it's no balls and 2 strikes. Line drive, base hit it to right field. Jason Werth can't get to it. It's off the base of the wall. Valbuena's trying for 2. The throw a little late.
And he's in there sliding with a leadoff double.
Boy, it just gives you an indication of how hard the balls have been hit. Jason not able to cut that ball off because of how hard that ball's hit. Get that ball up in the zone. Gursky getting ready to go. Now here it is up here. That ball's up in the zone, and he's up to the task with it as he drives that ball. You hate to see that when you get those early 2 strikes on a hitter.
Well, Jason Donald is 0 for 1 with an intentional walk, and he bunts back to the mound. Herndon fires to first. Almost looked like Donald was trying to bunt for a base hit. He did get the runner over to third. Putout goes 1-3. And they're going to bring back Jake Westbrook. And it looks like Travis Hafner is going to pinch hit here in the 6th, which means that Charlie Manuel may go get Mike Zagorski. There's Westbrook.
I thought for sure he had a play at third base. That ball bunted hard right back to Herndon. If he turns over and throws, I think Polanco was thinking that he had a play. He elected to go on and take the out.
Well, Valbuena's on third, and here is Travis Hafner. Now, Charlie Manuel hasn't moved as Hafner is walking to the plate. He just asked Jerry Davis if he had been introduced, if Hafner had been introduced, and he has been. So Charlie's going to head out to the mound, and he's going to go get Mike Zagorski. That's the problem that Manny Acta has had is Travis Hafner's is his DH, and he's his best power hitter. But because he's got 9 games against the National League, he has to pick his spot to have him pinch hit. He picks this spot, and Charlie picks this spot to bring in Mike Zagorski. Back and forth through the top spot of the National League West, the 2 spot, the 3 spot. Here, the Phillies trail at 5-4 as we're in the top of the 6th with 1 out. And Mike Zagorski is the new pitcher for the Phillies. Zagorski, who's making his first major league appearance since August of 07 at Pittsburgh. Those are his numbers from Lehigh Valley. 0-2, a 2.35 earned run average with a couple saves in 29 games. And he told me yesterday that the velocity has been picking up, and his control has been picking up his last few starts. And Rich Doobie said he's been throwing the ball quite well down at AAA.
Oh, that's good, because he's going to need to in this situation with a runner on third base and 1 out. It has all to do with his control, and obviously that breaking ball has got to have a good one if he's going to be able to get left-handers out.
Well, here is Travis Hafner. Normally the designated hitter for the Indians. 8 homers, 28 RBIs, but he has not fared well against lefties. On the hands, a roller to third. Valbuena scared back to third. 2 outs.
Yeah, that was actually going on contact. and end up being good base running on his part. And Steve Smith going over and talking with him, but he would have run into a dead out. That happens at shortstop, and you don't go, and you ask him, well, what's going on? And he said, well, didn't think I was going to make it. The manager will say you just go on contact. That ended up being a good play.
And now the Phillies switch Crow around to the right side, which is what they did last night in the 9th inning with J.C. Romero. They switched Crow around to the right side, and Carlos Santana, who's the number 3 hitter. Crow tonight from the left side has scored 3 runs. He has 2 doubles, and he also reached on an error. And he shows bunt and takes pitch for a strike.
They had everybody moving. In a situation where a guy can bunt the ball, as long as you know the runner knows that you're going to do that. Because of the speed that Crow has, that's part of his game. If he gets it in the right spot, it will be a base hit because of his speed.
Swing and a miss, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Mike Zagorski in 2008 had Tommy John surgery. He has come back from that, but he's also come back from hamstring problems as well.
Wow, 92. The velocity is there. It's a good fastball.
Swing and a miss. He got him. Another good fastball at 94 miles an hour. So Mike Zagorski in his 2010 debut gets the only 2 batters he faces. Here in the 6th, he strands a runner at 3rd. Again, a little cheese from Zagorski. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Phillies trail it by 1. Philadelphia area Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com and buy Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phillies. A nice night in Philadelphia. Phillies trail it by 1, 5-4 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning inside Citizens Bank Park. Well, now both teams are into their bullpen. Jake Westbrook went 5 innings for the Indians, allowed 7 hits and 4 runs, and now he gives way to Tony Sipp. His 31st game. You see that earned run average of 7.04. Well, Sipp, back on the 23rd of May, had an ERA of 1.40. He had allowed 3 earned runs in his first 21 appearances. Well, that's all changed.
Yeah, well, maybe he thought about where he was, and those 25 walks will make a change for you. He would have 18 strikeouts, however.
Well, he's walked 7 in his last 3 2/3, and on here to face Ryan Howard, Jason Werth, and Raul Ibanez. Ryan this evening is 1 for 2. He extended his hitting streak to 7 straight. His last time up.
He's got to hit his pitch here. He sees that he is a little bit wild. First pitch, slider in the dirt.
Sarge, what would your approach be as a hitter as you look at what Sip has done over his last 3 2/3? If you look at the numbers and see that this guy has been a little wild, would you take a pitch?
Well,
take a strike?
You're going to be a little more patient, not necessarily take a strike. I take a breaking ball strike.
There's a base hit for Ryan Howard. That's his second hit of the night.
And then pick up a line drive single like Ryan Howard just did. A little easier to hit the ball when it's straight with pitches that you don't know, as opposed to the breaking ball, because you don't know the break on it. Gets the ball up in the zone. He's hard to get out. See that ball there, and he has good extension. Not trying to do anything but hit the ball. Or do too much with it.
Well, Jason Werth homered his first time up, doubled his last time to the plate. So he's 2 for 2. And he takes a pitch low and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Indians bullpen came into this game with an earned run average just under 5, 4.94. So, and this was the case for the Phillies the first few weeks of the year. They have tried to get into the other team's bullpen, and the Indians are no different. Right-hander loosening up in the bullpen for the Indians. That's Hector Ambrose. Jason's 3 for his last 3 against lefties, including his first home run against a left-hander. Two at 2.
Not a good hitting approach there as he just dips down a little bit. Not exactly what pitch he was looking for. Maybe off speed. Again, Jason a fastball hitter. He can hit a little fastball and high.
Now 3 and 2 with nobody out and a runner at first.
I don't know if Charlie is going to send him, but I know that he should get a fastball in this situation.
Not a big lead by Ryan Howard. He doesn't go. And the pitch is lined into right field, a base hit. For some reason, Ryan hesitated, but he's still able to get to second. I think he saw that quite well.
Line drive. He did the right thing because it was a low line drive. Don't know whether or not the fielder is going to be able to pick that ball up. And that ball again hit like a bullet. A predictable count, 3 and 2, because he hasn't been getting the breaking ball over. And you see the line drive go. That's what you want to do, is just freeze just in case. And then you get on into second base. If he catches it from there, it looks like he might have had a chance to get back to first.
So Jason has a 3-hit night. Ryan is also on base. He's in scoring position. And Raul Ibanez, who has a 2-run double tonight, now has 32 runs batted in. Will hit with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Charlie, a manager that doesn't like to bunt very much, doesn't like that sacrifice bunt anyway. See what he's going to do here.
I would imagine that Raul has not bunted a whole lot in his career, that Charlie will let him swing away as Tim Belcher's back to the phone for the Indians.
Good point. When you don't ask players to do something that they're not capable of doing, you think everybody should be able to bunt. That's just not the way that it is.
More than 7 years since the last sacrifice bunt for Raul, but he's done it.
Yeah, well, no sense in trying it now.
Yeah, the anniversary's passed.
That's right. hitters like to hit anyway.
Tried to hold up, and he went around. It's 1-2.
That's when you think you can't catch up with that fastball. You're getting a little bit of an early start. Pitch that you're vulnerable to will be that slider, the hard slider that's breaking.
Check swing, slow roller. Donald's got it. Flips to second for one. They're going to get 2 out of that. How about that?
Howard goes over to third.
This is almost a check swing there. Didn't want to swing and got a late start. That's just an automatic 6-4-3 double play.
And now it's left up to Victorino, who hit one softly to Jason Donald his last time up. Oh, throw by Santana nearly sailed over the head of Sip.
Yeah, that's why when you're on the bases, you got to keep your head right on the ball just in case things like that happen.
To another count to Victorino.
It looks like they're pitching around him some. Left-hander. Snyder behind him. See all those little strings dangling on his glove there. That's where you tie your glove up. If I'm a hitter, I'd make him cut those. I don't want to see anything dangling from any glove or see what I'm talking about there. As an outfielder, Mays would actually come over and tie all of those up for us.
Just out of the goodness of his heart?
Well, he would like to see outfielders, and not only that, he'd have it where it was so neat, he'd tie it and then cut it with scissors right there with a little knot. All of us. There was never one time we'd have any of that hanging out.
I didn't realize he was that particular.
Well, when Willie Mays tells you something, as an outfielder in the Giants organization, you did.
That's a lack of maintenance right there. So the walk to Victorino puts runners on first and third for Schneider. Ryan tries to check his swing, but he committed against that slider. It's 0-1.
Schneider will be getting more at bats, so you can look for that average to come up, and he'll probably start to hit a couple of home runs or so, getting that stroke together.
Victorino had started on that pitch and then stopped. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Ryan with 2 RBIs that came in 1 game. He's got Howard at third and Shane at first with 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th.
Not a very good swing. Little fooled on that pitch. Have a solid at bat. You'll see it. Slow feet. Hands will be quicker if you do it that way.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Mets have taken a 5-0 lead over the Tigers. And the Tigers can't buy a run. Top of the 8th, Jose Reyes, a home run, a triple, at RBI, 3 for 4. And they've got Victorino picked. Russell Brannon's looking at third. Now they got him in a rundown. Ryan hasn't broken from third yet. Now he's broken. Here's the throw to the plate, and he is out. Santana applied the tag and just moved out of the way from a freight train heading to the plate. and the side is retired. So the Phillies strand one here in the bottom of the 6th. They tried to sneak one home, but the Indians weren't buying it. We go to the 7th. The Phillies trail it by 1.
One-run game here tonight in favor of the Cleveland Indians as we head to the 7th inning. A lot of goofy stuff in this game, including that play that just ended last inning. Phillies scoring a run back early in the game when kind of forgot about a guy scoring to the Cleveland Indians. Boy, has he shown some power here tonight. A home run to deep right, deep left center field. Jason Werth has a long home run, and Raul Ibanez is knocked in 2 with a double. So a 1-run game. Mike Zagorski back out for the 7th. Did a nice job last inning, Tommy.
Yeah, he got the only 2 batters he faced in the 6th, and he threw a 94-mile-an-hour fastball to Trevor Crowe to get him to finish the inning. Now he'll try to slow down Chu, who is 2 for 3 with 2 2-run home runs. And it's 2 balls and no strikes to him.
Batting against a right-hander for the 2 home runs, the starter Kyle Kendrick. But he showed some serious power using this whole field here tonight.
Moved his feet a little bit.
I think he was diving that time too. Here are the 2 home runs. The first one looked like a changeup, and he kind of golfed it into the second deck there. That's a long home run. Now, how about here in the 5th inning? Hits this ball the other way, and of course, it's really carrying here tonight, like we said it would, because we're watching BP and it's so hot. But still, that's pretty impressive.
And now Zagorski's fallen behind 3-0. And he and Schneider will chat. Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They were each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with below 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. And ball 4, and Chu is aboard to lead off the 7th inning.
One more guy you like to turn around right-handed in Santana, of course, then Kearns, then Branyan left. Kearns right, and they do have Baez up in the bullpen, a right-hander.
Since Santana's night, he's walked. He has a sacrifice fly. There's Denny's Baez, and he's doubled.
And he has really been good behind the plate too, moving around, blocking all kinds of balls, and making it look easy.
Swing and a miss. Ooh, he got Schneider. with that backswing.
Catcher gets a catcher. Boy, this guy's an aggressive hitter. There you see right here, and that's why you wear those helmets. And Carlos Ruiz just got smoked with a broken bat the other night when the barrel broke and hit him in the helmet. Won't be a big league catcher. Santana, as I said, is a wild swinger, and right-handed there, he's really got that bat going back. That was last night he got a piece of him. And there's Carlos Ruiz on the DL.
0-2 the count.
Sikorsky throwing everything hard right now. Fastball, slider. You haven't seen him for a while. And this guy is a great time to throw this kind of hitter a changeup. But he is just hacking at everything like it's hard.
In the dirt, 1-2 the count. He came back with a slider.
It looks like he's going to just be fastball slider.
I'll tell you, he's come back to the big leagues with some pretty good velocity.
Yeah, he was good last inning. You know, getting those hitters out in a key spot, especially Brandon with a runner at third and less than 2 outs. And then, fortunately, came out here and walked the leadoff man.
Talking to Mike yesterday, after talking about how he was doing in Lehigh Valley, he asked, how did Scott Matheson do the other night? I said, well, he threw hard. And he said that he had been throwing the ball really well down in Lehigh Valley. Matheson had been. So he was excited that he got a chance to come back after all the surgeries he had. Both of these guys recovering from Tommy John surgery. Zagorski only once, Matheson twice. Two and two the count to Santana. And he got him to pop it up. Toward the Phillies dugout, Schneider and Ryan Howard are over.
It's a shame he almost got him there because he threw a high fastball way out of the strike zone. He chased it, did Santana, just out of the reach of Brian Schneider. Mauer called one like that here the other day, that big tall catcher for the Minnesota Twins. He's about 6'5". You see Brian doing all he can. I think he's going to come back a little bit, but not enough. And they try to hold him back. It's a lot friendlier to go over near your own dugout.
And the toss over, and Chu, who has stolen 11 bases this year, gets back without a tag. Phillies trying to make up some ground in the National League East. They began the night trailing the Braves by 4.5. Mets were in front of them as well. Runner goes. Pitch is taken outside. The throw to second is in time. What a tag by Utley.
Beat that play, didn't he? Looked like it. I mean, it was a great tag. I agree. But man, he looked like he beat that play. Big out for the Phillies there. Brian Schneider made a good throw. It's low near the bag. Let's just see. I mean, the umpire's closer to it, so he's right. Can't tell he's in the way there. He got him.
He may have got him. Yeah,
he may have gotten him. Boy, it looked like he beat that. As you said, that was a great tag by Utley. He's starting to pop up a little bit, and that may have cost him.
Manny Acta's out arguing with Greg Gibson, the second base umpire. You saw Gibson's mouth move. He said the last thing he said to Manny Acta, he was out.
Here you go again now, really slowed up. Chase with a quick tag. Oh man, that's close. I think he beat it. When you see it really slow, like, that happens so fast. Doesn't matter, he's out. A heck of a play by Brian Schneider and a great tag by Utley. Heck of a throw by Brian Schneider. Full speed right here. Quick.
to left center field. Victorino into the alleyway. That's going to stay in the ballpark, and he makes the catch for the second out.
Chase did a really good job on the tag of showing it to him real quick too, and you know that sometimes you can get a call that way.
Well, here comes Charlie Manuel after Greg Gibson calls out Chu, and then the fly ball to left center for the second out. We've got a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. Donnie Baez will take over here at the top of the seventh with 2 men down. He's got a right-hander due up in Austin Kearns. So Charlie's heading out to the hill to take out Mike Zagorski. Here comes Danny Baez. We'll tell you about him when we return. Let's take a look at our Coors Light freeze cam. We've had some pretty good defensive plays in this ball game, including this one by Raul Ibanez to throw out Carlos Santana trying to score from second. Heck of a block by Brian Schneider. Right there, that's a good look at the block and the tag. The hand wasn't on the plate at this point. The tag was on the shoulder. That's our Coors Light freeze cam. So Donnie Baez will face Austin Kearns. He throws a good breaking pitch for the first strike. 30th game, excuse me, for Baez. Back-to-back hooks, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Baez pitched for a lot of teams, of course, but had some good years with the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, the Indians are the team that originally picked him up. Was a starting pitcher. And when Bob Wickman went down with an injury several years ago, that's when the Indians made him their closer. And Kearns stays alive. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
3 out of 4 breaking balls so far. He did get him to check swing on a high fastball for a strike too. He's got both pitches in his mind. He's going upstairs with a fastball. He's going down with a breaking ball.
And a fastball chopped over his head. Here comes Chase right around the second base bag. Inning is over. So Donnie Baez retires Austin Kearns. The side is retired. It's time to stretch here in Philadelphia. The Phillies have a little work to do. Offense.
Time now for the Dodge Stuff the Fans Trivia Quiz answer. Here's the question one more time. On December 9th in 1982, the Phillies traded 5 players to the Indians for Von Hayes in the infamous 5-for-1 trade. Can you name the 5 players, Wheels?
Well, I don't think so, but I got 4 of them, I think. The number 1 guy was Julio Franco.
Correct.
How about Manny Trio?
Correct.
How about a right-handed pitcher named Jay Ballard?
That is correct.
A catcher, Jerry Willard.
That is correct. I can't imagine you won't get the 5th one.
I can't think of who the 5th one is. I'm just locked on it.
Well,
and I won't look it up, as you well know, so who is it?
George Vukovich.
Oh, George Vukovich.
Brian Schneider sends the first pitch from Frank Herman in the air to deep right. Gone! First home run of the year for Brian Schneider. And he's just tied this baby up at 5 apiece.
Just like George Vukovich did in that Division Series game back in 1981 to send it to a 5th game, which unfortunately the Phillies lost after George hit a walk-off home run right around the pole. The veterans said, how did I be coming up with a George Vukovich?
You couldn't come up with a name, but you came up with the story.
I couldn't remember. I remember George well. Brian got a high fastball. This guy throws hard, the Harvard grad. And he launched that baby deep to right center field for a tie game. Oh, it is flying here tonight.
So it's a 5-5 game. Here's Ross Gload pitch hitting for Danny Baez. Gload has 3 pitch hit home runs. Frank Herman started the year at AAA Columbus. And Gload skies it towards center. Trevor Crow. He's under it, and he makes the catch. Started the year at AAA. He was 3-0 with an earned run average of 0.31 in 28 2/3. And the Indians purchased his contract on June 4th, and that's what he's done, including that home run.
Anders, that's amazing there, that old 91, because you look at the way he's supposed to throw, and he has a changeup, which he must be pretty good. But what they talked about is his hard fastball and curveball.
Here's Jimmy Rollins, hitless at 3 at-bats.
Well, there's a hook right there. I guess with curveball and changeup, you can have some success against left-handed hitters, especially if you got a mid-90s heater.
One and one the count.
Hey, Jimmy's still looking for his timing. He really hasn't hit the ball hard yet. He's out in front of some things, behind some other pitches, and it'll come. There's Brian.
A little late on that one. It's 1-2. Herman was not drafted by the Indians or any other major league team. He was signed as a free agent out of Harvard. And a breaking ball low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Evidently was a heck of an athlete where he could have been a quarterback, good basketball player, and obviously a very good baseball player.
He was recruited as a football player by some Big East schools and, of course, some Ivy League schools. Chopper, right side. Valbuena has it. Jimmy's retired for the second out. So 2 away. So the Phillies have tied it on Brian Schneider's first home run since July of last year. Speaking of Ivy League, here are the Ivy players who are currently in the majors. Will Venable and Chris Young out of Princeton. Ross Ollendorf out of Princeton. Mark DeRosa looks like his year is done. Out of Penn, Brad Ausmus with the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's from Dartmouth.
Well, Mark DeRosa was a player that, you know, some teams are a little wary of because of that wrist problem. And that evidently has flared up again.
1-1 the count. Polanco's 1 for 3, singled his first time up and scored, flied to right and grounded to third. Phillies have had to come from behind a couple of times tonight, and they're trying to do it again. Brian Schneider has tied this up in this inning with his first homer of the year.
It looked like he went up there and just, you know, Read the reports on this guy, hard thrower, and he just went up there and looked for a fastball in the first pitch, and he got it and drilled it.
To the Indians dugout, and it remains 1-2. Well, it looks like the Mets are going to win again tonight. I guess the Phillies can't really concern themselves with what the Mets are doing. They've just got to worry about themselves, make up some ground before the All-Star break. Charlie will tell you that. You know, play it one game at a time.
You better win your own game, especially when you're the third team in the division now.
Opposite way for Polanco. Chu was playing really shallow, and he makes the catch. The side is retired, but the Phillies tie the game up. Brian Schneider's first home run of the year into the seats in right field against Frank Herman has made this a 5-5 ball game as we go to the eighth. To you by the Quality Plus Ford dealers. By the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly. By Xfinity. It's TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. And by Toyota. Toyota's national sales event is going on now. Hurry in to your Toyota dealer today. Top of the eighth from Center City. We come back inside Citizens Bank Park, and Brian Schneider's the man of the hour for the moment as he has tied this game up with his first homer of the year, and he's catching the pitches of Chad Durbin, who was the fifth pitcher used by Charlie Manuel in this game. Durbin, his 29th ball game, no wins, a loss, and earned run average of 3.15.
Real battle for the Phillies to get back even here tonight. You know, it's Chad Durbin's job, obviously, to hold it right where it is, and you know, they feel they can win this game. They can keep it tied and to get a run here in either the 8th or 9th inning.
Well, just to run it down for you, Kyle Kendrick started. He went 4+, allowed 5 runs on 6 hits. David Hearn did it, inning and a third scoreless. Mike Zagurski, his first action in the big leagues this year, an inning and a third scoreless. Danny Baez got the only batter he faced, and now Chad Durbin. He'll face Russell Branyan, and he ties him up, and it's 0-1.
Big overshift for Branyan, although they do leave Polanco near the off the bag at third, but see 3 players on the right side for the pull hitter.
They did a text message poll up here on the board, the video board at Citizens Bank Park. It said, who is your favorite Phillies Indians player? Russell Branyan was one of the options, but it wasn't close. No. Cliff Lee won going away.
I thought it was going to be Von Hayes, especially after that quiz.
Just to tie it all in. Indians over the last few years have made a lot of trades and have gotten rid of a lot of their star players.
I want Von to know that we didn't write that where it said infamous 5-for-1 trade, because he had a good career here. He just, it's always tough to live up for 5-for-1. And Franco played for 100 years after he retired, it seemed like.
Yeah, until Jamie Moyer has done what he has done at the age of 47. The last guy to do it was Julio Franco. But it's tough to compare a pitcher to a hitter. But Julio didn't do it the way Jamie's been doing it.
No. Julio Franco had a heck of a career. Jamie Moyer is just amazing.
There's a line drive toward right. They may have a chance at first. Werth is going to try it, and it's a little late.
Yeah, you saw that coming right away. Werth, that ball was hit so hard, and Brandon doesn't run all that well. And Jason, good job, as he saw that and came up firing. He almost got him. Here it is. You see Brandon smokes this thing. Now, Jason Werth does a great job charging it. Gets it on one hop and a strong throw. And Ryan Howard had to come off the bag and get it anyway, but he would have been safe.
A runner aboard here at the top of the 8th. As Brandon will take his lead, and the batter is Johnny Peralta. And he takes a pitch low, 1-0.
Right now, this is Durbin's inning. There's nobody up. Steve Smith, who knows this ballpark very well after serving as the Phillies third base coach for a couple of years, including the year they won the World Series.
That one is chopped right past Steve Smith. See what Peralta's done tonight. He's flying out to Jason Werth 2 different times. He singled to left his last time up, and that got Carlos Santana thrown out at the plate. On the outside corner, good pitch. 1-2.
Regarding the line with Polanco at third, so there's a big hole on the left side. Cheating a little bit for the double play there.
Another breaking ball lifted in the air to left, and Raul comes over to make the catch. Back to first goes Brandon. So one away here at the top of the 8th. Hey, make sure you plan your summer here in Philadelphia and at Citizens Bank Park. And a reminder that Tuesday, the 27th of July, the Phillies will take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's the same homestand in which they'll face the Colorado Rockies. There are seats available for all 3 games, the 27th, the 28th, and 29th. So log on to Phillies.com now to purchase your tickets. Luis Valbuena hits it in the air to right center field. Might hang up there for Victorino. On the run into the alleyway, makes the catch. Ball was hit off the end of the bat, and that seemed to cause it to linger.
Yeah, that's what Shane's thinking too. That ball when it left the bat looked like trouble, especially because he's shading him towards left center. And as Tom said, the ball was off the end of the bat and it just died. And Shane, with a great speed, is able to run it down.
Now with 2 outs, it leaves it for Jason Donald. Former Philly who was involved in that Cliff Lee trade. It's the only one of the 4 that's still up here in the big leagues. Lou Marson was up here to start the year, but when they decided to bring Carlos Santana up, they sent Marson down to AAA. Sandy Alomar Jr. said that Marson really turned the corner defensively before he was sent down. Got the sense that last year, before the Phillies made the trade, that Jason Donald was pretty close to getting to the big leagues. He was evolving. Cue shot right back to the box. And Chad Durbin, after running halfway to the bag, flips underhand to retire the side here in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 for the Phillies. Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, and Jason Werth.
Interested in baseball, age 6 to 14. Softball for girls, 6 to 14. Log on to PhilliesCamps.com for more information or call 610-520-3400. There were kids here yesterday from the Phillies Baseball Academy. They got a chance to be out on the field, take some infield, get some tutoring from some of the Phillies coaches, and also get a tour of Citizens Bank Park. Not only down below, they got a chance to meet Brad Lidge as they did a little mock press conference with Brad Lidge prior to the start of the ball game. Brad was great with them. Again, the Phillies Baseball Academy. Rafael Perez will take over for the Indians here in the bottom of the 8th. 29th game. 1-0 with a 4.63 earned run average. He has a tough time against left-handers, as you see there. A 395 batting average against lefties. And there is Brad Lidge. I was wondering if that call was for him or not. J.C. Romero was up before the phone started to ring. And Bill Myers said, oh, you go ahead and throw two. Phillies and the Indians tied at 5 here in the bottom of the 8th.
We have the same top of the order you had last night. So we'll see, but Phillies want to get a run here and worry about who's going to pitch the 9th after that. And just get some guys ready.
Outside and low, 2 balls and no strikes. The Indians defense, I mean, they are deep in the outfield. I mean, all the way around. They're kind of set up the way the Twins were set up for a good part of that series this past weekend.
Well, they're trying to prevent an extra base hit with that. This is a no doubles defense because of the 9th inning. The Twins seem like they played it the whole game.
Right. They play Utley to pull on the left side of the infield. 3-0 the count. There's Ryan Howard waiting on deck.
This guy has a changeup evidently, which is a pretty good pitch, but he doesn't throw it to right-handers. So maybe that's one of the problems that he has with left-handed hitters, and a little more successful against right-handers that he uses his changeup.
Chase was taken all the way on that one. It's 3-1.
Not by the motion that right-hander out there's that Joe Smith, because we used to see him enough with the Mets.
Sidewinder. Talked to Joe today, and apparently he's throwing the ball pretty well down in the minor leagues. Ball 4. Chase thought maybe that was a strike. He waited, and he's aboard with the leadoff walk. Now this game will encore tonight at 10:30 on the Comcast Network, and again at 1:30 a.m. here on Comcast Sportsnet. Catch the finale of this 3-game set against the Indians beginning Thursday at 1 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Fausto Carmona will pitch for the Indians. He's their best pitcher, and he will be opposed in that ball game by Joe Blanton.
Shot of Chase Utley. He was talking to Jason Werth, who's in the on-deck circle, what he just saw.
Fastball in there for Ryan. It's 0-1.
He throws a lot of fastballs away to left-handed hitters.
There's a slider, and it's 0-2.
First, every pitch so far to the 2 left-handed hitters is away. So if you're a hitter, left-handed hitter, you look away.
Away again toward first. Brannion's got it. There's one. Peralta's return throw goes right on by the pitcher and the first baseman. They do get the lead runner.
They got a break too. It didn't go into the dugout or the camera well there. Brian Howard did a good job of staying in a straight line and didn't make any flinch at all towards second. They're not even going to try and tag him, it looks like. Here it is. Brandon does a good job there. Boy, what a quick release by the shortstop. Well, that's actually, as you said, Peralta, because of the overshift, the third baseman, but then he throws away. But here they get a break. Right there. Well, that's a great shot coming right at you. They both kind of peeled off, and that baby came right between them.
Andy Rabel had that shot in the first base dugout. Way to stay still, Andy. You didn't even flinch on that one.
No, he's like an umpire or a catcher, you know, with the equipment.
Well, Maniac is out to the mound. He's going to bring in the right-hander, Joe Smith. He had two right-handers loosening up in the pen. And Manny was signaling down toward his knee to the umpire, telling him which one he wanted. So Joe Smith is the new pitcher for the Indians. He'll come on to face Jason Werth with one out here in the bottom of the eighth. Bottom of the eighth inning. The go-ahead run is at first with one man down. And right-handed hitting Jason Werth is on to face the Submariner Joe Smith. 10th ball game in the big leagues for Smith. A 7.71 ERA. Just back up from AAA. He came back up yesterday. He had good numbers down in the minor leagues. Got Ryan Howard at first. He doesn't drop down as much as he did when he was with the Mets. Only one inherited runner has scored on Smith this year. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Jason's really done a good job of closing up here tonight and driving the ball hard the other way. And they're playing him to pull, giving him a big alley in right center off the line with Chu in right. And Smith will probably stay away from him.
For the low of that offering, it's 2-1.
He's going to throw a sinker slider. I mean, we saw enough of him when he was with the Mets. Came into a lot of games against the Phillies.
It was a pretty good pitch for Jason to hit, and he fouls it off. And it's 2-2.
Yeah, went off his foot.
Jason's had a good night offensively. 3 for 3. A home run, a double, and a single. He's a triple away from the cycle, and that would give the Phillies the lead.
Well, we showed you that huge gap in right center field, and he has been driving the ball to right and right center tonight. There it is again.
Nice play by Santana.
He's good, isn't he?
He is good.
He's so quick back there, and he blocks the ball.
You know, Casey Blake is a good player for the Dodgers and has been, but boy, this kid, it must have been tough to give him up.
Really? Look at him get in front of that thing, too. And that's when sometimes catchers get a little lazy, try to backhand, and the next thing you know, they're back there like the old euchre thing, shaking hands with somebody in the front row. That is very impressive. He had to give up a good young catcher, but, you know, they had Russell Martin, and, you know, I guess they thought they were set there.
There's ball 4, and the Phillies have 2 aboard.
Good at bat. Jason Werth really seeing the ball well tonight. Ever go with a double switch.
So Matty Acta is out to talk to the home plate umpire, Jerry Davis. And he's going to go to the bullpen and also go to his dugout bench. He's going to bring in Anderson Hernandez, and he's going to bring in another right-hander. So the Phillies have 2 aboard with 1 out here at the bottom of the 8th. We'll be back. The Indians, and then 3 against the Blue Jays before the Phillies hit the road from Philadelphia. Those 3 games this weekend, the Phillies will be the road team, although the games we've played here at Citizens Bank Park, 3 in Cincinnati, 4 in Pittsburgh. And that 7-game road trip wraps up Sunday, July 4th at 1:30. Here's Raul Ibanez facing Chris Perez with 2 aboard. Perez is the guy the Indians got in the Mark DeRosa deal with the St. Louis Cardinals last year.
And he's a guy that the Cardinals thought at one time was a closer of the future. He has a good arm.
A lot of base runners this year. And Raul can't catch up to a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, we saw Chris Perez a few times with the Cardinals, and the thing you saw about him right away is erratic. Great arm, but not dependable, and as Tom said, they finally moved him.
32 games a year ago with the Indians after the trade. That one's pulled to the right side, backhanded by Branyan. There's one, and Anderson Hernandez, who came in as part of a double switch. He's the new shortstop. He doesn't try to turn 2. But they're 2 away. Runners now on first and third for Victorino with Howard on third. And Raul over first. Victorino has only faced Perez 1 other time. He's 0 for 1. Steve Smith aligning the defense. He's trying to get Anderson Hernandez's attention and Valbuena's attention over at second. Victorino tonight 1 for 2 with a walk. Brad Lidge and J.C. Romero. It's 0-2 to Shane.
He's got some serious gas in. A pretty good curveball too when he's with the Cardinals.
being held on over at first base.
The Phillies, they tried. I don't know what happened. They were trying to double steal or. Anyway, the time you do it is with 2 strikes. And that's when the Phillies tried it. And this time they're going to say, well, they're going to bluff over there just in case they're going to try it again. He leaves early.
Victorino pops it up. Toward left, not deep. Austin Kearns on the run. Over toward the line. And the side is retired. So the Phillies get 2 aboard and cannot score here in the 8th. So Perez comes on and gets the 2 batters, or the final 2 outs he needs. We go to the 9th, tied at 5. Durbin remains in the game for the Phillies. By the way, Ricky Metallico is currently 6th all-time in Phillies history with 78 saves. Brad Lidge is 1 away from tying him. So Ricky will have sole possession of 6th place at least for another night.
We're happy for both.
Yeah,
that's nice.
There's J.C. Romero loosening up. Brad Lidge sitting down for the time being. Anderson Hernandez leads it off for the Indians. He came out as part of a double switch, and Durbin can't make the play, and he comes up hurt.
Oh, man.
Chad Durbin grabbed his leg.
Like a hammy.
Yep. And he just stopped right there on the base path. Mark Anderson, the Phillies athletic trainer, out to check him out.
Full extension. And it looked like he was going to get to that and make a tremendous play. And I thought he grabbed the back of his leg.
Yep, that's what he just did again. He just pointed to his right hamstring. And he's going to exit. And it means that J.C. Romero, at least I think it'll be J.C. Romero, is going to come on.
Here it is. That's a good bunt by Anderson Hernandez. That looks like Chad's going to make a terrific play. Full extension right there. And then starts to limp. And watch right there. When you reach back there, that's normally a hammy. But we'll wait for the official.
Almost looked like he felt it before he even tried to grab for that ball.
Well, when you extend like that, that's one of the ways you can blow a tire, and he did. I mean, it looks like he did.
Romero comes on with a runner at first and nobody out here at the top of the ninth. It's a 5-5 game. Chad Durbin was helped off or walked off with Mark Anderson, the Phillies athletic trainer, after apparently injuring his right leg as he was trying to track down a bunt by Anderson Hernandez. Now you got to keep an eye on Hernandez. Crow is up there. You figure he's going to try to sacrifice him up to second.
Right, and that's why they throw over to first, and he committed early, so he showed bunt.
Part of the order getting set to roll on for the Indians.
Well, even though you have a left-handed hitter on deck, they look like, at least they appear, they're going to try and bunt him over.
And he bunts it foul.
But Chu has swung the bat so well. In fact, last night he got, what did he do? He got that infield hit off Romero in the 9th inning.
Maniac's team has struggled on the road. They've struggled in interleague play, but they're locked at a 5-5 game here in the top of the ninth. Inside, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. J.C. Romero is a little upset with Jerry Davis on that call. Pete McCannon letting Brian Schneider know what they want J.C. to do. Whether they want him to throw over to first, come to the plate. And he wanted him to throw over. They are finally underway out in Chicago. The Braves and the White Sox. Tim Hudson and Mark Burley.
Well, they both work really fast, so they can pick up time.
Runner goes. The pitch is swung on, looped over the head of Ryan Howard down the right field line. It drops in for a base hit. Hernandez will get to third, and the Indians have runners on first and third with nobody out.
Well, I took the bunt off there, obviously, try and play a little hit and run, and dumps a parachute out there.
No for Crow. That's his 3rd hit. 1, 2, and 3 hitters. 6 for 10. With a couple home runs. Those are Chu's.
Yeah,
5 RBIs.
Top of the order has been very good. That pitch was down and away, and he did a great job making contact on it. There it is again. This guy's been a very impressive player here today. He's a lot better swing left-handed. He's a much slower bat from the right side. He's got kind of well, it's a very different swing. They're 2 different swings, and he's very good in the outfield.
Former #1 pick, and here's Chu. Chu has had a well of a night with 2 homers, 2 2-run home runs. The infield is in with nobody out here in the top of the ninth.
Right. They don't want to give up a run on a double play.
That one's back to the box off the foot of Romero. They've got Hernandez. JC just runs at him. Polanco running a back. Crow is already at third. And that means Hernandez is going to be tagged out. Now there are 2 in scoring position.
Yeah, it took too long. Indians did a very good job with that, and that was not a good job by the Phillies in the rundown, because you don't want the batter to get to second. You want to keep the double play in order. They did what they have to do there, and that's make sure you break from third and get in the rundown. Good job by Anderson Hernandez. Well, here we go. First of all, JC knocks it down. Now your runner breaks, and he wants to be in a rundown, and he's going to do the best he can to stay in it as long as possible. Too many throws in this rundown. Right at this point is when the runner is going to be going to second base, and Polanco has to, make sure they get him. And now he knows he's done his job. He just stops, lets them tag him, second and third.
Now Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, both at the mound. There's Chu, who's on second. There's Crow, who's on third. And Carlos Santana's the hitter. They're going to pitch to Santana as the infield is in.
Did you get the scoring in that rundown?
It said 1-5-2.
Okay.
Throw it in. 1 ball and no strikes. We're looking in the dugout. Steve Smith and Trevor Crow. There was some communication between Steve Smith and Trevor Crow. Towards shortstop. pulled down a one hop by Jimmy Rollins. The throw is wide, and the Indians have the lead. Santana's going to go to second. Runners on second and third. It's 6-5 Cleveland.
Yeah, that would be probably a hit. Fielder's choice on an E6 for the advance. Made a great play, and you know, you're really defenseless trying to throw from your knees or however he threw like that and threw it wide.
So again, runners on second and third, and one out. A run is scored.
Let's see, Jimmy. He didn't even stand up. Just kind of threw from squat position, threw it away. They did a good job, of course, of going on contact right away and forcing that play. So the Indians have run the bases well in this inning.
So now they're going to walk Austin Kearns intentionally. They chose not to do that with Santana, but they're going to do it with Kearns and load up the bases and put lefty against lefty and put the double play back in order. One out.
Trying to think if they had executed that rundown play correctly, they probably would have played for a double play. Now, I don't know whether Jimmy cheating, if he could have gotten to that or not. It was hit so hard. But it's just a thought because they didn't do the rundown play well. I think they would have probably played for a double play with Santana because he doesn't run that well as a catcher. That ball was really rocketed. I don't know.
Give him credit for putting the ball in play.
Yep.
So the bases are loaded. Chu is on third. Santana's on second. And Kearns are out at first. Wheels, why would they choose to walk Kearns intentionally here to load up the bases after not doing it with Santana, you think?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Different hitters, different styles, different point in the game.
I'm trying to, I mean, this situation here, Brandon, you have a chance to get a double play or strike him out. But I know what you're saying before that. Well, you have a left-hander then pitching to Kearns with the bases loaded. We thought they had a better chance to get Santana to hit a ground ball in the infield, get a play at the plate. The one thing I noticed is Contreras hasn't gotten up. Or he might have been in the game there.
That's a good point.
To pitch to Kearns, and then he might have been able to walk Santana. I don't know.
1 ball and 1 strike the count to Russell Branyan.
Many questions right now.
Branyan has 2 hits. He's 2 for 4. See his career numbers against lefties.
The other thing is sometimes you intentionally walk a guy, then you're worried your pitcher's going to walk the next guy. And Romero does have control problems, so there's another possibility. Like right now.
JC taking a walk. It's 2-1. There's Brad Lidge. He's gotten up a couple times and loosened. That one is a liner caught by Chase Utley. They've got the double play at first. Austin Kearns caught in no man's land. And that's a huge break for the Phillies because they limit the damage here in the top of the 9th inning. The Indians do take the lead 6-5. The bottom of the order is due up for the Phils.
Kyle Kendrick went 4+, and the bullpen used early tonight. And now Kerry Wood will try to close it out for Cleveland. He has saved 5. He's blown 2. 16 hits and 7 walks in 14 1/3. So he's given some things up this year. And he will face Brian Schneider, a pinch hitter. Ben Francisco's out on deck. And then the top of the order for the Phillies. Chad Durbin, we're told now, has left the ballgame with a right hamstring strain. And we'll get more information on that after the ballgame. 6-5. 8-9-1 due up. It's time for the rally caps here at Citizens Bank Park. A sold-out crowd of 44,510. Phillies have one walk-off victory this year. That's been one of the oddities for this team, is that they haven't been able to come from behind late in ball games to win games. Something that they did often last year. Well, they're going to need to come from behind here against the Indians closer. Carlos Ruiz is the only walk-off hit for the Phillies. And solo home run in the 10th inning against the Cardinals back on May 4th. Want to know the count to Brian Schneider, who's homer tonight. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Ben Francisco on deck to bat for J.C. Romero. Just the kind of game these two teams don't want on a night when you have a quick turnaround. You have to use all this bullpen.
Fausto Carmona tomorrow for the Indians. Joe Blanton for the Phillies. It's a 105 start. Phillies are hoping to take back-to-back wins into that game. Schneider got the pitch he wanted with the count 2-0, and he rips it foul. Ryan has flied to center. He potentially walked in the 4th, and his home run came in the 7th. Two and 2 the count. Kerry Wood has thrown that slider more over the last couple years than that curveball that he had when he came up. Sometimes the curve doesn't hurt the arm, or it doesn't pressure the arm as much as the slider, or vice versa. It all depends on the pitcher. Three and 2 now to Schneider. Phillies need a base runner here to bring the tying run, or put the tying run on board.
Doing the 2-2 breaking ball right there. We talk about that all the time. How that can be a trap pitch a lot of times. And hopefully it is right now that he gets a throw a fastball and he hits it.
There it is. It's ball 4. It gets away from Santana. Schneider's not going anywhere. He'll go to first. Maniac to look it on. Wilson Valdez is going to come out a pinch run for Brian Schneider. Dane Sardina is the backup catcher for the Phillies. So a little extra speed for the Phillies with the tying run aboard. And here is Ben Francisco. That's a good job by Brian Schneider to work out that walk and just get on base.
Very good job. He had a terrific game here tonight. Tied the game with a home run and gets on base when you desperately need a base runner.
Third baseman Peralta's in on the grass in case Francisco decides to try to sacrifice Valdez up to second. He's not squaring, and a big swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Another slider from Wood. Francisco and Kerry Wood teammates a year ago. Ben began his professional career with the Cleveland Indians, came over to the Phillies in the Cliff Lee deal.
Peralta's not buying it.
And he's still in, maybe a half a step. Now he may back up a little bit more at third.
There's a lot of room to hit a ball by him. He's still not buying that they won't bunt here. Now he backed up.
Chopper softly hit towards shortstop. Hernandez can't get it out of his glove. Low throw for it looked like Branyan was off the bag. It looked like Russell Branyan was off the bag. The whole bench put their arms up, and here comes Charlie.
Now Davey Lopes. I mean, Davey Lopes is not arguing. If Davey Lopes doesn't go nuts, everybody was crazy on the bench, as Tom said, and Davey Lopes just. And that's the sign to Charlie. Hey, he stayed on.
I think he came off the bag.
Well, a lot of people agree with you. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, he's off the bag right there. Well, the Indians get a break. We'll look at it one more time.
In the glove, toes on the bag.
Think it's on the bag?
Close enough. You know, I don't know. It's so close, but you know, he went on the cue of the first base coach.
So the tying run is in scoring position. It's 0-1 to Jimmy.
I think if Davey Lopes had snapped, then Holbrook's got Charlie twice in 2 games.
And Davey would if he was confident that it.
Right.
Called him go the Phillies' way.
Boy, are they cheating in the outfield right now.
Valdez with good speed on second.
In the air, down the right field line. Way back there. It is gone! How about Jimmy Rollins? He's back!
Don't hurt him now. Don't hurt him. Easy.
What a scene around home plate. That has got to feel good for J-Roll.
You know, he had a great quote last night or the day before when he said, you know, you can have 4 bad at-bats in a game, and sometimes it's the last one that matters. Well, as usual, he's right on. It's the last one that matters, Tommy.
Only the second walk-off victory of the year for the Phillies. It's the first walk-off hit for Jimmy Rollins since 2007.
I think they just had his first home run. Walk-off homer.
That's right. Rollins, don't forget it. They wondered what kind of a boost he would give this team. Well, in day 2 of his return, what a boost he has given this team.
Oh, he's unbelievable. Yep. 4 at-bats, didn't do much, and then the 5th one wins the game just the way he talks about. That's the way it happens sometimes.
Well, it's turned into his post-game show. He's down on the field again with Sarge. Sarge, take it away.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot. Well, to be a leader, you got to have game-winning hits. None bigger than that one when you hit a walk-off home run. Tell me about that after not getting hits those 4 times out.
You know, I went to the cage and worked on some things. I was talking to Charlie, and I was telling him, you know, I know what I'm not doing. I just can't feel it. You know, I know I'm not standing on my legs and I'm drifting under the ball, but it's hard to make a correction until you feel it. I went to the cage, and I remember a good friend told me to act like when you're struggling to take the bat from the top of the screen and pull it straight down through it. So if you see before the first pitch, I look back at the screen to see get the height and try to set my bat angle. Then it was just a matter of him hopefully making a mistake in, and I got a good pitch to hit and didn't miss it tonight.
Yeah, it looked more like not trying to hit the ball out, just trying to square the ball up in that situation. That's when you get a lot better results.
Exactly. You know, long line drives can leave ballparks.
Okay.
You know. Right, Sarge. You know, I was just trying to catch the ball like I did off of Broxton, and it worked. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, well, you know, again, that comes along with those game-winning home runs. You usually get that shaving cream. But, again, picking up the club like this has to give that offense here a boost.
I would definitely like to believe that. You know, like I said, I just want to get back and, you know, get the boys' confidence up. And by whatever means that is. And, you know, it's not really about my results, you know, as far as, you know, average and things like that. It's about getting those wins on the board. So keeping everybody, you know, positive is, you know, my #1 goal right now.
Continued success, and we'll have you on here, I'm sure, many more times. Wills, Tom,
All right, Sarge, to chat about last night tonight, maybe